Hey guys, before we get into the podcast, this episode is sponsored by Alka-Power, Australia's #1 alkaline water, trusted for its high pH and ultra hydrating benefits. Whether you're training, recovering, or just staying sharp, Alka-Power helps you keep your body in balance. Find it in major supermarkets, health food stores, and selected petrol stations across Australia. Go to alkapower.com.au if you want to learn more. Nutrition Warehouse, not your average supplement store. If you're serious about lifting, this is the place. No fluffs, just high quality proteins and pre-workouts. Every supplement need that you would require, found under one roof inside every Nutrition Warehouse store. Over 120 stores across Australia and New Zealand, and founded by former Mr. World NABBA champion Grant Mayo. Nutrition Warehouse is built for lifters who mean business. Shop in store or online, nutritionwarehouse.com.au, and grab a cheeky 50% off, that's 15% off, by using discount code MUSCLETALKS, either online or in store. Seriously, skip the random tubs and wandering aisles. These guys are legends. They've got your stack, they've got your back. Nutrition Warehouse, macro foods, ready-made meals that actually hit your macros. Tasty, high-protein meals designed to fuel your goals without the prep time. Head to Macro Foods, that's macrofoods with a Z.com.au, and use code MTP10 for 10% off all your orders. macrofoods.com.au and use code MTP10 for 10% off all your orders.
A true bodybuilder doesn't do it for the money, does it for a passion. For me as a kid, it was like my love. That was my first love and only love, and anything else after that was just a hobby. So like women at that age, it was a hobby.
Yeah.
But my life and my love was my bodybuilding. Being an IFBB pro was good, but it wasn't my ambition. '89 I went to the World Games, which is the opposite of the Olympic Games. So they have all the sports that are not in the Olympic Games, they have them in the World Games. So I went there and I got 7th, which again I didn't get what I wanted. So then I wanted to start representing Greece, because I had accumulated so many Australians, and I had to qualify, go to the universe. I wanted to represent Greece, and they wouldn't let me, and that's when I said, well, okay, I'm going to leave. And I went to NABBA and competed, because they let me go straight into the World Championships. Yep. People were complaining, and they said, look, anyone that has Terry's qualifications, can join him. Why should he qualify when he's already done so much? Everything peaked perfectly that day, and I walked away with, probably the best titles of my life. They opened up a boom gate. So when they open up the boom gate, you start going up this road, but you can't just turn around halfway. You've got to get to the top and then come down. As you're going up, there's all the hills all the houses on the hills, and there's kids standing outside with fucking guns everywhere. Everyone's standing there with guns. There's kids on the back of motorbikes with guns strapped to their bags. I thought, oh fuck, what have I done? And he knew that, this Mitsos guy, therefore he's heard about. So everyone's getting changed and everyone's pumping up. And me and him are still dressed, and they're like 15 minutes. He's still sitting there dressed, I'm dressed. We're looking at each other. Nobody wanted to take their clothes off first.
Yeah.
Everyone else is oiled, pumped, ready. We're still just standing there, and I thought, oh fuck, we're gonna run out of time.
Winner, tall class, Mr. World. Mr. Australia at 19. Took on rugby union, but the forwards weren't recognised or appreciated and only used to bash and trash. Played rugby league. Team sport was costly due to possible losses due to others. Being a bodybuilder seemingly allowed him to control his own destiny and wins. Samian boy, gym owner, magazine covers, bodybuilding trailblazer. Seems to like his food and his travels, a few tattoos, and a smoke or two. Please.
Cannabis.
Cannabis, doesn't matter. It's all smokes there. But still, it could be cigars too.
Yeah, it could be cigars.
Could be cigars. Please help me welcome, who told me to have 6 egg whites in the morning, and you need to get rid of all that hair on your body, Mr. Terry Mitsos.
thank you, Steve. Thanks for having me.
Oh, man. How long has it taken for us to get you on?
Well, I promised you if I'd done a podcast, it'd be you.
I'm in the first?
Yeah, and it's probably been, what, 2 years maybe?
Oh, my God. It was so hard to get you on. But you were quick at your answers. No, thanks, Steve. I was like, oh, how am I going to... And, you know, so people actually asked about you. What's her name? What's her name in Western Australia, Chris? My posing coach. Amy Fox.
Oh, yeah.
She goes, oh, are you going to get Terry on ever? And I went, you know, I've been asking this guy, and I can't remember who else I said this to.
Yeah, she's a nice lady. I sent a few women to her for posing and that. Yeah, she's a very nice lady.
Yeah, she's very nice. She's done very well for herself too. She's married to Justin Wessels.
Yeah, another great bodybuilder.
Great bodybuilder. He's on Tuesday.
Oh, wow.
Justin's going to be on this
that'd be
Tuesday.
mad.
He took a while to get on. You guys are hard, mate. All these Americans like to come on.
He's interstate too, isn't he?
Western Australia, so...
He'll be just...
Live. Who else? I mean, you know, the week after we're going to have Grant Mayo, Nutrition Warehouse.
Yeah, I remember.
He was a NABBA boy.
Yeah, from 30 years ago now.
Yeah. He's quite a jovial guy, nice guy. So it's funny. About time you guys are all coming on, man. I'm getting all the Americans on, and you're wondering who this motherfucking Aussie guy is.
Well, then you feel special coming on after people like Lee Priest and Milos. And
I know, but you know, it's always good to be homegrown. And Chris, you know what? Chris loves podcasts in studio. Why? Better colours, better audio. It looks better.
Yeah,
Where when you're doing it recorded, we can't help what their camera looks like.
Yeah,
so sometimes it can look faded and it doesn't look nice, but we can't help that. But let's start. I'm going to start, and I do need my phone for this because I took a few screenshots. We're going to go through your top 3 IG pin posts. You're probably wondering, what are they? Which ones have I put up there? So I know, so I'm going to go to them. So the first one is, and I want to talk about it. One sec. On my photos, and it's this one with Ronnie Coleman next to you.
Yeah.
Right? Let me read it. Can I read it?
Sure.
All right. It says here, this pic is so significant today. Not 30 years ago when it was taken. In my second year of IFBB Pro bodybuilding competing in the Chicago Pro Invitational, I'm on the left doing most muscular, and there was the GOAT, Ronnie Coleman, in his maybe second pro show. Who would have known that Ronnie would go on to win 8 Olympias and be the greatest bodybuilder to walk on the planet, and probably the greatest bodybuilder ever... Sorry, let me go back to... Let me get it back up, yep. To ever walk on the planet. If any other situation, it would have been just a picture, but it's a lot more that I stood next to this... one of the greatest. How was that? Yeah, what about that? And tell me something. I'll tell you something. Mate, you're putting it on him.
Yeah, I would have weighed there about 250.
Yep.
He might have been a bit less, but then again, he was supposed to be natural at that stage, so maybe he was. Yeah. So I don't know. That was in 93 or 92, 93.
Yep.
And at the time, he was just another bodybuilder, just starting out like Kevin and Flex and all them, and everyone was just starting to make a name. And I think he came 9th and I came about 15th or something. But I remember the next day checking out of the hotel, we're in the same hotel. I remember him checking out and we're both at the counter and I was looking at him. And he just had something about his physique. It was just so round, and he had height, he had width, he had everything there. I think he just needed to fill out more. So his time was coming, but nobody knew to what extent until looking back, you know, these days, and you think, you know, what he achieved. So, yeah, it was something special to it, but not just Ronnie, but also to stand next to Lee Priest, next to Flex Wheeler, Milos, all the greats of the 90s.
Tell me, because many do, I guess, amateur shows here in Australia, they get their pro card and they go to pro shows. And very rarely have we seen people that have, you know, stood in pro shows with future greats that have, because usually the greats are pounding the door there and then, you know what I mean? Like I said, you got literally, you just mentioned the top 10 Olympians, like that 90s top 10.
Well, the way I look at it like this, if you take, say, from, I don't know, 1992 and take 20 years and then the next 20, so you take best bodybuilders of the last 20 years, and then of the 90s era. And so you have 40 of 20 and 20, and then you take the best 20, you can end up with predominantly more of the 90s bodybuilders in that 20 than you are of these days. But also I was offered a pro card in 89. I didn't take it because there was a Grand Prix in Australia. I think Sonny Schmidt took it at the time because I had only won Australia's and I needed to win a Mr. World title or Mr. Universe title. I needed something like that because at least I could use that title. Being an IFBB pro was good, but it wasn't my ambition. So that's why I stayed. And then in 89, I went to the World Games, which is the opposite of the Olympic Games. So they have all the sports that are not in the Olympic Games. They have them in the World Games. So I went there and I got 7th, which again, I didn't get what I wanted. So then I wanted to start representing Greece because I had accumulated so many Australians and I had to qualify, go to the universe. I wanted to represent Greece and they wouldn't let me. And that's when I said, well, okay, I'm going to leave. And I went to NABA and competed because they let me go straight into the World Championships, into the Mr. World, and people were complaining. And they said, look, anyone that has terrorist qualifications can join him. You know, why should he qualify when he's already done so much? So in that case, they let me go straight in, and it was probably everything peaked perfectly that day, and I walked away with, probably the best titles of my life.
Yeah. Like, how does, I don't, like I said, I want to keep in the conversation. How does that compare to today's bodybuilding in some? I don't want to go straight into today's bodybuilding, but what I'm getting at is, I think you're either a competitor, a real competitor, or you were a fan. You were nothing in between. There's a lot of in betweens.
I think the difference is you can be a competitor or you can be a contender.
Yeah.
So anyone can be a competiter. Yeah. You just get on there and you're on stage, you're a competitor.
Okay, yes.
But that doesn't make you a contender. A contender is a different level. You're at that elite top of that competition, so you're trying to push, for that title. So I think a lot of people, bodybuilding has been lost over the years now, where you had to earn your pro card.
Of course.
And back then, there was only one person getting it a year. And no one was getting it from Australia because you had to win the universe to get it.
Yes.
So no one was getting it. Then they started to do a bit more shows, so they started to give out more pro cards. And today they give out more pro cards than anything. There's thousands of them given out. And everybody has it their name, IFBB Pro. It means absolutely nothing.
It is washed away.
And the thing is, when you become a pro bodybuilder and you're competing against real professional bodybuilders, then you're never going to win, you're never going to get anywhere, and then you can just get lost in the system. And then you think, there's nothing here anymore. But if you can stay with it as an amateur and win some serious titles, you build your name up, you build your reputation up, and when you walk into the pro level, you've earned it. And then when you step on stage, people are looking for you because they've heard about you coming as a great amateur. But these days, people are just getting pro cards after 1 or 2 contests.
Yeah.
And it's because there's no one else there. You might be like 100th in a competition, but because there was only 2 there, and you're going to end up getting a pro card.
Do you think that, I don't want to use this word, but do you think that...
It's all about money.
Mate, I'm a businessman.
Because bodybuilding was dying.
I'm a businessman, and I can see they have they know there's registration fees, pro card fees, and let's be serious here, the amount of bikini girls, there is a lot of money in that.
But back then it was just bodybuilding,
but that's
and we used to pay too.
Yeah, of course.
And my father would be like, why are you paying to get on stage and they're making money off you? How stupid are you? And which is true.
Smart, yeah.
And so, but I think at the end of the day, I think a lot of people get lost and then they don't achieve anything, and because they're not trying to build up on what is credible, and that's some serious. And it takes at least 10 years to go from the day you start to a really good either professional or a good amateur. So you need to invest 10 years, but people want it all within the 1 or 2 years, and it doesn't work like that unless they load up on so much steroids and that.
Hey guys, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed, who is following us on all platforms, but especially here on YouTube. And if you're listening to us on Spotify, please, if you could do us a big favor, which helps us reach more people, get better, bigger, greater. We've already had some great guests anyway. Everyone's been a treat. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you're notified every week a new podcast that is launched. And I just want to say a big thank you. But again, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and enjoy watching Muscle Talks podcasts.
It's funny because, you know, like I said, I've had Milosh on, I've had Chris Cormier on, I've had a lot. If you look at their amateur show, how big the list is, you'll die. Their amateur run is long. Like, it's not...
But that's the fun side of it.
That's what I'm saying is these guys did, like you said, 10 years of amateur shows. It was incredible how long their amateur shows went for. But when you look at everyone else, they don't even have amateur shows. It just seems they're all hitting the IFBB, trying to get a pro card.
Yeah, but also too, that's watered down too now because they split.
Yeah.
So, you know, you don't have it all in one. You have it in two federations. So it's very different again too. And also too, because bodybuilding was dying back then, and because it was just the opens, and everyone's like, I can't look like that, I'm not getting on stage.
It's true.
So nobody was competing.
Yeah.
So then it came after that where I even promoted, there was a New South Wales comp, and they didn't have anyone. They used to hold it with Australasians. They used to put them together. But then the federation gave it to me, the IFBB. I paid them $5,000 to sanction it, and I got 100 competitors and 1,000 in the audience. Then they took it off me after that anyway. But
why was it a success?
I think because I promoted it well, I had good sponsors, I got good. I had the gym, which I had people there, so I helped them. I put 20 in from my own gym.
Of course.
So, you know, there was and also too, with each person, each competitor you get, he's going to bring at least 10 or 20. So the more competitors, the more audience, the more successful the whole show's going to be. So at that stage then, after when people weren't competing, they thought, what are we going to do? So then came classic, came board shorts, came bikini, came this, came that. You know, there's so many federations, there's so many categories that anyone can go on stage. Anyone can train for 3 months and go on stage these days. But it doesn't mean that they're bodybuilders or, you know what I mean? So I think I think the sport is lost. I don't even call it a sport anymore because it's not, you can't really consider it a sport where it's like in anything else, you know, you're the fastest, you win, you're the winner, you know, you're the strongest, you throw the furthest, you win, you lift the most, you're the winner. Where this is so subjective to, you know, 8 judges or 7 judges, whatever's out there judging you, and, you know, how do they know what is one physique better than the other? Because someone's taller than someone else, does that make them better? You know what I mean? So it gets very subjective too.
Do you know, Terry, I didn't even know half the bodybuilders. I know them now, but when I started this podcast, I hardly knew anyone, right? I was just in my zone. I just loved the gym. I loved the training. I loved the bicep. I liked when I waxed my legs and seen the teardrops. You know, the forearms when you take the hair off and you get to see the lines.
The
veins. I liked when I went and bought a good... remember Mark's T-shirts? The Mark's T-shirt in Pitt Street Mall. There was a shop, Mark's. They had beautiful T-shirts that looked good on you when you were a bodybuilder.
Yeah, for sure.
You always knew, you know. There was a sign of vanity for us in that game. It was a love affair to alter the body, where I think that's why people, and I've said this before, if your focus is the stage, then you're not a bodybuilder, because that's just a destination. The journey is completely bodybuilding. I don't care about the stage. The stage isn't a place I care about. I will go to, no, but what I'm saying is I'll go to the stage, and I think one day I want to compete. Maybe I'll even talk to you. Yeah. I think why I want to compete, I'll tell you 2 reasons, maybe a few more. One, I'm scared. And I want to do it because I doubt myself. So I don't know, maybe I can do something. Maybe I could score, if I leaned right down, what am I, 88 kilos, get down to 78, I think I'm going to be pretty good. You know, if I lose another 10 kilos and lean down right down. I think I need to maybe experience that, so it's a story one day that I did that. That would be one reason. And I guess the other one is to experience it, like just to experience it. Fear.
I think it's a great experience.
Yeah, experience. But for me, I still don't feel that the stage is drawing me in to tell me that's bodybuilding. Does that make sense?
You don't have a reason to get up there.
But I love bodybuilding.
And
what I'm saying is a lot of athletes who are on stage don't love bodybuilding. They love getting on a stage.
But I think these days, because they have social media, there's, they need some of that credibility or some of that exposure so they can, market themselves and, build up their platform and make more money.
But doesn't it water down our industry then in the end?
Yeah, 100%. But that's just society these days. So.
But the thing is, all right, let's look at a beauty pageant. Unfortunately, I'm just going to let you know, my sisters can't go in a beauty pageant. They're beautiful, my sisters, but they're not built to. The beauty pageant won't allow them on. Me too. If I wanted to go to a modelling,
they've kept that criteria.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When you keep the criteria, the right sponsors come in and pay big dollars.
Sure.
If you keep the right criteria, trust me, there's enough sponsors for bodybuilding to pay the real dollars to say we've got the best of the best on stage. You're going to have to pay your ass off to have your name on stage, but everything's watered down. And I don't think they're smart businessmen. And you know what it is like? One more thing I'll say. I'm going to tell you the difference between UFC and boxing. Dana White. Dana White built a brand.
Yeah, for sure.
Not only did he build a brand, he built a family. And he built it to say, I'm going to be running a UFC fight not every quarter, not every month now, every week around the world. And it's going to be under the brand and it's going to be the best of the best fighting. You know what boxing is? Closing down sale. It's always a closing down sale.
With UFC, and also too, because you have access to promote and show.
Yeah, that's what he does.
Competitions more than what you did back then. So
no, but the boxing hasn't fixed. They're a closing down sale. They take the money because they're broke.
Yeah.
It's true. They're broke. They take the money. They all become rich. They become broke, and they put on the fights. They bring the past greats on so they can collect. Bodybuilding's, if it's not careful, it's doing closing down sales all the time. Like you've got to build an umbrella. And under that umbrella should be names. Conor McGregor was under UFC. Kamir, whatever his name is. Alex Volkanovski. Like what I'm saying is, you knew the names. Like he'd put them in, and they were the top runners. So that's how you knew you could respect the sport. And he was paying them, and like it was just like I said, the sport. He made them as well to be famous and popular. So. I think everyone should. I look at Dana White in a sport aspect. If you want to build a federation, you want to build a sport, you be like Dana White. What does he do? Promote, have a few people, mention them well, elevate them, not him. He elevates the athlete. You want to pay tickets to go see the athlete. If we're having bodybuilding shows, we should elevate who's going to be coming on. And sometimes you know if it's a great amateur, you should be talking about this great amateur is going to be on the stage. Hardly we know who's coming on, and not even inviting people on anymore. Like you said, sometimes they'd invite you to come in and do something. You know what I'm trying to say? And you knew yourself as a businessman. You said, let me put something together. You did put something together, and you knew as a business person, well, you needed to fill the stage up. And if you filled the stage up correctly, I mean, now I'm going to sound like it is a closing down sale, but I don't think you were looking at it that way. I think you were looking for the better interest of bodybuilding and bringing bodybuilders on stage. So that's how I feel. I feel like federations are trying to steal from each other, but no one's building an umbrella underneath them.
It's all greed. It's all money and greed.
Yeah, 100%.
At the end of the day. So.
Yeah. I don't want to be. I mean, I'm a businessman.
A true bodybuilder, it doesn't do it for the money.
No.
He does it for a passion.
There you go.
And, so for me as a kid, it was like my love. That was my first love and only love. And, anything else after that was just a hobby. So, like women at that age, it was a hobby.
Yeah.
But my life and my love was my bodybuilding. And that's what I devoted everything to. So, yeah, it depends. But, if you have different purposes, what you're looking to get out of bodybuilding or weight training, then it's very different. But as a true hardcore bodybuilder, it's something that you feel so deeply and madly in love with. And that's all you think about all day.
I felt that. Like when I trained, I was happy with my career. I was a computer engineer. I was happy with that. I was happy. I was doing door work as well on stage, but I loved bodybuilding that, but it never was for me to turn it into a passion of getting on stage. But I knew who was doing it, like you, and who was going on stage. Now, like I said, all coaches are trying to push all their... It's like you, everybody that comes and trains at your gym, you're trying to push them on the stage.
No, not really.
No, I'm saying that, but that's what they're doing.
Like I've put 70-year-old people on there. I've put, young people. But now they've looked back, people that would never go on there, I've helped them get on there. And now they have that experience and they look back on it and they feel great about what they did.
I love that. Or then maybe it is about feeling good. I don't know. I'm just your next post, and look at this, Chris. Look at this double. Before I show Terry. Look at Terry there. Look at that one, huh?
Oh yeah.
What kind of a back is that, eh?
Yeah,
look at the Christmas tree on you. Look at the glutes.
Yeah, I peaked there.
That I did it on purpose. It was a video, and I wanted to pause it on that to show you. Oh my God, funny. Chris, you've got to make sure you put this on the podcast. The difference between then and now in bodybuilding.
But I did everything for that, because I knew, I just felt I was going to win this Mr. World. And they all came from England, all the Mr. Universe winners a week prior. They all came out. So I beat all of them and then won the overall, which was fantastic. And it was like, the guy that came out, he's passed away, rest in peace, Sean Davies. And he had come as the tall class Mr. Universe, and then there was Peter Reid and Robert Wall as the middle and the short class, and they came, but no one knew of me. And I waited here in Australia, and they heard about me, but they didn't see me. I never knew much more. So then we're backstage, and there was Sean and myself, and he knew that, this is this Mitsos guy that he's heard about. So everyone's getting changed and everyone's pumping up, and me and him are still dressed. And they're like, 15 minutes. He's still sitting there dressed. I'm dressed. We're looking at each other. Nobody wanted to take their clothes off first.
Yeah.
Everyone else is oiled, pumped, ready. We're still just standing there. And I thought, fuck, we're going to run out of time. So I thought, fuck this. I took my clothes off. And I'll never forget, he looked at me and he went, like nothing. And then he started to get changed. So it was on between us. And then we're on stage and I practiced my posing a lot. Yeah. So I did a lot of posing, a lot of iso tension. So I was ready to hold the poses and I was ready for battle on stage because it's really hard on stage when you're flexing against someone, comparing. And I could see him dropping and dropping as we're posing. He was out of breath. And I'm thinking, fuck, this is good. And then after, we're posing down on stage and he's chasing me around the stage and it was fun. It was banter. It was competitive. It was good, but it was serious too at that time because I wanted this title. And then I got the tall class, and then standing with the other two guys, which were that's one of them there. And I'm thinking, I can take them from the back because they're a bit softer than me, and I knew from the back I'd take them. So my ass was styrated, everything was styrated.
Look at your hammies, look at your calves.
Yeah, but this is for, that's back then. And that's 108 kilos. Yeah.
You said even here, in today's bodybuilding, you'd be in classic against C-Bum with this physique.
That's what I think, yeah.
But, it's even hard to get that physique today.
Yeah, to get that styrated these days and end up with that condition, the condition was incredible then. It just, because I had no injuries, I had nothing going on in my life, everything was towards that, and I wasn't stressed, I was relaxed. And it showed. I think when you have stress and your cortisol levels build up, you hold fluid. But when you're really relaxed and everything flows and you have no injuries and everything, then that was the result.
And tell me, I want to know, I've never really asked, tell me about posing. Just because I've heard, I hear...
Posing's not important anymore but back then,
But I don't want to. But the thing is, everyone says it's not important now. I hear it, and I hear it was important back then. But you just told me about watching the guy blow out next to you. Tell me that. Tell me about not only your posing routine, but how do you condition yourself like that, but also the fitness level to.
Look, you'd start in the morning with cardio.
Yeah, tell me.
Then it would be I go back for breakfast, my weight session. Then I go back home and have a bit of a rest, eat, and then during the day I would have to do 30 minutes of posing and iso tension. So I would have to do...
Can you explain iso tension?
Iso tension is just squeezing the muscle, squeezing it. So I would do my pose and I'd hold my pose for 20, 30 seconds. I do it with a mirror, I do it without a mirror because there's no mirror when you get on stage. So when you take the mirror away, people are really lost, because they can't see what they're posing. And then I would do my posing routine, and I would do that. I had to do it at least 10 times because you just got to remember the transition from one to the other. So I would do my posing routine at least 10 times. I'll do 30 minutes. But the other thing that was probably just as important in my prep was also to my mind work, which I used to do a lot of affirmations, visualization.
Wow, very heady.
Yeah, I would sit there and go. I had like everyone said, what secrets do you have? I had no secrets. The only secret that I wouldn't give anyone was my tape. And I had a special tape called Play to Win.
Yeah.
And I'd go into like relaxation, meditation, and then it'd be visualization, see yourself up on stage, see yourself coming from behind, see the competition. Wow. And then I would repeat in my mind, power runs through my veins. I have vast resources of energy. I have nobody can beat me at my game. So I'd repeat this over and over. And then I had a tape which was just music, but it had some subliminal messages behind it, which you would pick up. So I would listen to that too. It even got to me so much with the mind that when I made my music for this, I got a band to make it. There was just a band I used to go and smoke pot with them, and we put some music together, and there's all the sound effects, and they done it all for me.
I saw that, yeah.
And then I asked them, I said, can we put in there like a Coke ad, where they put one frame, and I think it's 28 frames per second, and in one frame they put a can of Coke. So at the end of somebody watching a commercial, they never see the can of Coke, but as soon as the commercial finishes, they want to get a can of Coke. Yeah. So I asked them, can we do something where we put in that a subliminal message to the judges when I'm posing, Mitsos number one, Mitsos number one. So at the end of my posing routine, they've got fixed in their heads, Mitsos number one. So,
Where does that come from? Because that is, I'm just saying to you, firstly, young age that you were.
But I remember even a younger age, really young age, before bodybuilding.
But where did that come from?
I'm not sure. I used to get a candle, and I'd light the candle and sit in the dark and meditate and visualize me going into my body and seeing my cells eating bad cells, and like a puckman eating it. And so I used to do stuff like that. And then I came across books that I had, and all my books were about mind. I don't know where it came from. I suppose I used to read a lot of stuff about the mind, because I believe where the mind goes, the body follows. Yeah. Strong mind, strong body. Yeah. So, you believe you're sick, you're going to get sick.
Yeah, 100%.
So I think we use such a little part of our mind, but when you can process more and use it into your bodybuilding, and because, you're going to have to stick with your diet, even though I was never good with my diet, but my most important part was the training and the mental visualization side of it.
Like I said, never on stage, but when I used to train at Mitsos, I used to go home, and it was just in the shower, really, at the beginning. That's where I started my visualization. And I used to visualize how my body looked. I knew how to visualize my waist small, my shoulders and my quads. I used to be able, and I used to sit there and meditate it. And the other thing was, I also knew I had, and I've got it tattooed, spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally. And I used to close my eyes at 16 and go, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, over and over again. And I used to have this energy force around me, seriously. And you're right. If you think you're going to be sick, you'll be sick. Even if you think when you eat that hamburger, it's going to make you fat, it'll make you fat. So even when I had a hamburger, I used to meditate after it. I used to close my eyes and go, there's lettuce, tomato, meat, there's some protein. Whatever my body doesn't need, we'll let it go. Whatever my body needs, we'll keep. Whatever. It's never going to harm me. It's never going to do anything. And even to today, I still do it, Terry. I still meditate. I still do affirmations. Even though I'm a little bit angry with the world at times, I still go back. But visualization, but like what you were doing, I just know because I heard today cricketers are doing it. Tennis players do it. I'm not saying...
Even as far as I would
racing car drivers.
I would, when I'd pray at night, I've been praying since a kid, but when I would pray at the end of my prayer, please God, let me wake up a little bit bigger than what I go to bed. Yeah. And I'd wake up and I'd look in the mirror, and, because I always like to look at my body first thing in the mirror, because when you've been laying for a while, the water gets sucked in, so you get up and you can see all the lines and everything. And in the morning. So, I think it's the mind has a lot to do with it.
There you go, Chris. You want to get muscly? Just use your mind, all right, Chris?
You don't need to train.
You don't need to train, Chris. Just use your mind there. The next one was, this one's an interesting one. This.
Yeah, that was my last comp.
Comp. Can I read it?
Yeah.
All right, let me read it. It says here, this was my last year as an IFBB pro. I had enough of competing. I lost the passion, no will to win. I lost the eye of the tiger. The week after the competition was my last in IFBB, and I went up, and listen to this one, I went stoned on stage. Now, I knew that was it for them. I came back 4 years later in Nabba, you said. Looking back now, I look pretty good. And for someone not really trying, nice memories. And you know what? It's funny. Do you know how many bodybuilders, sorry, I won't say many, but do you know a few bodybuilders on my podcast have told me how they smoke pot? And some of them even train smoking pot.
Look,
and they're big ones. They're big bodybuilders.
Yeah, I agree. Like, to be honest, I've smoked pot almost every day since I've been a kid.
Why? Can I just ask? Because it doesn't agree with me.
Look,
I'm hopeless with it.
I like it.
Have you smoked pot, Chris?
No.
Okay, Chris hasn't.
I like it.
Yeah.
And
Of course you like it. That's one, I'm assuming.
yeah, and also too, it relaxed me after, because you take some ephedrine for your workouts, and you're on things to stimulate you. By the evening, you want to come down and mellow out, and then you saw people like Arnold smoking, numero uno, when he was smoking after winning Pumping Iron, and even going when I used to go compete overseas, with the pros and that, we'd be all, friendly, and we'd share some pot together. We'd share some eckies together.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So,
Eckies were bodybuilding things.
It was part of the California Reds,
Yeah, of course. The white doves.
I don't know about
You don't know the white doves?
No,
that was in
just
the
the-
90s.
Oh, okay, no.
They're the 90s stuff.
So,
We used to pop those, me and Junior, up in Queensland all the time, the white doves.
oh, okay. No, I just more
They
pop
were white,
than
with
anything.
they were white with a dove on top, on the peel.
I
And
just
you-
remember the little acid happy face.
No, and you just needed, listen to this, we just needed one, and you're off the fucking charts. One time I took two, and Junior always made me go first, because if I died, he wouldn't take it. I was
Guinea pig.
I was the guinea pig all the time. He'd go, do you want to try two? And I said, do you think so? And he'd go, you try it. Like, he just got me to do it if I survived. And one time, no joke, I was like, he just saw me and he goes, right, I've got to pop two. But it was funny. Let's talk about drugs back then. It was funny, with the eckies, because now apparently it's rife, right? But I remember going to a nightclub. I used to do it always in the Gold Coast. I don't know, I didn't do it much here. So we used to go to Gold Coast always every year, but maybe 2 or 3 times a year. And it was funny, you'd be in the club, and you'd look across the dance floor, you'd be looking, and it was literally a love drug. It was. You loved everyone.
Yeah.
But you just looked across the dance floor, and as soon as you contacted someone else's eyes, and especially if it was a female, but even whatever you contact, it's like you knew telepathically you're both on eckies. You just knew. Everyone else was pissed, drinking scotches, illusions. Remember the illusions? Champagnes and all that. And you looked across the room and you go, you nod and you go, nod, and you go, we're on it. And the funniest was, talking about prep, we used to go to Queensland, and the first time we wanted to try eckies up there, we went to this cafe called Charlie's, and it was on the Esplanade there, right? And they had steak Diane, and we took the steak Diane, we had it, and the next night, or that night, we went out and we took an eckie and nothing happened. And we go, fuck, we ate too much. So we started studying, and we realised to have the best experience, you have to have an empty stomach.
Yeah, 100%.
And we had pasta the night before. So we had carved up.
Yeah.
All that next day, we didn't eat, and then we partied like there was no tomorrow.
Yeah, no, that's like anything. If you take it on an empty stomach, if you mix it with too much food, it gets absorbed into the food, and you don't get the effect of anything, Valium or whatever.
I'll tell you one more story. Now you last me, and then I want to know. And then the thing was, I went to Byron with my wife when I was married. We went and stayed in Federal near Byron, and her sister and her partner at the time were living on a farm. And we were up on the farm, and it was all good. And there was this little cabin down in the farm, nice hobby farm, but nice cabin. And the people that stayed there shared the whole place. Were going away, and they said, oh, why don't you and Giselle come and stay at the little cabin there? And I said, okay, we'll go stay there, Giselle, So we go there, we walk in, and there was a table, and it had cookies.
Oh, hash cookies.
I didn't even know. And it goes, and it said Andrew, which is the guy that was staying, Giselle's sister's partner, said, they're not too strong. I go, what does he mean too strong? I don't understand. So I grabbed one cookie, I start eating it.
Hey guys, Nutrition Warehouse, not your average supplement store. If you're serious about lifting, this is the place. With over 120 stores across Australia and New Zealand, and founded by former Mr. World Grant Mayo, Nutrition Warehouse is built for lifters who mean business. Shop in store or online at nutritionwarehouse.com.au. And while you're there, grab a cheeky 50% off at checkout. Use code MUSCLETALKS. That's Muscle Talks either online or in store. Hey guys, how important is hydration? How important is water? Alka Power, Australia's #1 alkaline water, trusted for its high pH and ultra hydrating benefits. Whether you're training, recovering, or just staying sharp, Alka Power helps keep your body in balance, hydrated. Find it in major supermarkets, health food stores, and selected petrol stations across Australia. Australia's #1 alkaline water. So important, alkaline water. I can't stress it enough. High in pH, ultra hydrating. Australia's #1 alkaline, comes in various sizes. And if you'd like to learn more, go to alkapower.com.au.
This is delicious. And there was a dog, and I said,
I gave him some.
No, I said, I'll take the dog for a walk. And I go, man, these are really good. I'll take one with me on the walk. I took a second. I'm walking, and then the path was like going a bit like this. It's still them wake up set. I didn't realise. I'm going, I got a little bit lightheaded. I must be hungry. I'm like that. I come back, and there's Giselle munching on the cookies too. And I'm going, what do you reckon? She goes, they're pretty good. We go up to the house where now we didn't even know we're stoned. And I go up there, and they're making pancakes. I was dribbling there. I was like, I can't wait to eat these pancakes. I can't wait to eat these pancakes. And I was eating them, and out of the blue, Giselle goes, those cookies were laced. And I went, oh, fuck, yeah. And I had to drive later that day to Coolangatta to catch a plane to fucking come back to Sydney, to back to my juice bar. I was stoned for about 3 days. I was gone there.
Because it gets in your system.
It does.
Yeah.
It took forever, man.
It's very different to smoking it.
Yeah, it took forever. Like when I say stoned, it was like downers. Oh, not downers, but just, I was a mess.
You're just relaxed too much.
Well, I want to now go into a little bit of what you sent me, okay? Because I've read it and I've numbered it. So, like we said, this podcast is not just about bodybuilding. So, your parents from Samos. My dad's from Samos.
My mother's from Limnos.
My mum's from Lividi,
okay.
in Tripoli. So, and Samian women are pretty tough. So, these Samian guys were lucky to have these women, right? But Antonius and Anastasia from Samos, Limnos, and obviously you guys initially moved to Zetland.
And then that's
to
where
Abbotsford.
I grew up
in
Zetland, and then moved from when I was 4 or 5 to Abbotsford.
Yeah, which was very Italian town, really, isn't it?
Yeah. My mother still lives in Abbotsford now.
Does she?
Yeah, my father passed away a couple of years ago at 92 or 93.
Wow.
93.
Yeah.
My mother's nearly 89. She lives on her own now. But they're
How's she
still in
going?
Abbotsford. Yeah, she's all right. She's starting to get a little bit of dementia. And
Fuck, I hate it.
yeah, she makes you laugh sometimes with the silly things, but then after, gets sad too.
It does. My dad used to ask me all the time before he passed away, he was getting a bit of dementia, he'd go, how many girlfriends you got? I said, I don't have any girlfriends. He goes, come on, how many girlfriends? I go, 3. He goes, I love it. I used to love it. And he was always in trouble with the nurses. They actually,
Yeah.
my dad, he was a frisky kind of guy, man. But I said in the end, I was tired of the nurses. I was tired of the whole establishment. I said, look, if you haven't been trained for this and you don't know how to handle this guy, what do you want me to do? He's been charming to you. I can't help this. You know what I'm trying to say? He's bloody 87 years old and you're worried about him. Your 2 Nepalese are just throwing water over him like he's an elephant. No one cares in here, so leave him alone. So I said, Dad, do whatever you want. Sometimes I used to go into his room and because I knew he'd be happy, I'd put on Greek music and do Zebi Yes with him.
My mother the other day, she said she's changing her name back to her maiden name.
Yeah.
Because my father's been cheating on her.
How did she find out? Women can find out in heaven.
He's not even here.
I know, but no, she knows. There's a
She
women,
wants to go
mate.
back to me.
No, I don't blame her. She's, oh my God, your dad, he's playing up in heaven. Oh, only him and my dad. The 2 Samians are playing up there. Typical Samians. But what's funny? Yeah, so you grew up in that area. I remember your parents because...
They used to clean the gym.
I know. They used to come in. there with the mop and the bucket.
27 years.
27 years they cleaned the gym, made it organised.
6 days a week.
Yeah, and the thing is, it was a clean gym.
It was very clean.
But that's what I'm saying to you. Only Greece could make it that clean.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? They get into the corners.
Yeah, you never wanted anything. Both of them would come at 4:30 in the morning, 5 in the morning.
Yes, yes.
And spend 3 hours, 4 hours every day.
Yeah. No, I mean, God love them, man. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
But I think that's like WOG families, WOG parents. You know?
Yeah, but the thing is,
But they helped us a lot. He wasn't a typical like Greek man in the sense that, you know, he accumulated, if he was alive now and kept all his assets, he'd have $10 million. But he shared his wealth with us when we were very young to help us. He gave me, you know, money because he gave a house to my brother, he gave another house to my other brother, and then there wasn't anything left for me. And when I got married, he gave me $50,000 and he goes, you can put a deposit, a good deposit. That's what I used to open up the gym with my brother. So then a year later, then I bought my house because the gym took off straight away. But yeah, he was the type of man that would do anything for us to help us.
Yeah.
As long as we were respectful, you know, as long as we didn't, you know, in any way rubbish his name out there and do anything stupid that, you know, came back and...
Yeah, no, it was, look, there's not many dads like your dad. I'm just telling you, there's not many dads do that.
Well, I see a lot of people, they've got so much wealth, but, you know, they could be like 70 or 80 and they still haven't shared it with their children.
Sometimes they don't even have wealth. Like, I mean, they think their house is just the wealth. Just one house is a...
But others, like there's a lot of people die rich in the cemetery. There's a lot of rich dead people.
Yeah.
You know, and the kids will spend it easy anyway.
Yeah.
But the kids struggle then when they could have helped them early on. You know what I mean? So, anyway, each to their own.
No. He, like I said, bravo to him. I'm very proud of what he did. I like that.
He wanted me to be a doctor, but that wasn't going to happen. And the one thing I said to him, I said, look, I can't be a doctor.
Being that he wanted you to be a doctor, were you good at school? I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah, no, I was good at school, but I wasn't dedicated to schoolwork. I was only at school for sport.
Okay.
You know, so I was good at sport. So, you know, playing football, and even if I didn't want to play football, I wanted to study, they'd put me in the... I remember one day the coach, he was a maths teacher, and they put me in the maths staff room and they started screaming at me and they're like, in my face. And
why?
Because I had to play football and they told me they would fix the marks. So while I was playing football, I was getting like high marks. Then when the HSC, they can't fix the HSC. So then the marks were a lot lower in reality.
You're good at rugby league, yeah?
Yeah, the first year I played union. I didn't like union because, as I said, that, you know, I wanted what I'd done. I wanted some reward. I wanted to smash through people. And so the first year of league, I was 15. So I was under 16s and I was played for 5 Dock. And that first year, I made it into under 18s for Western Suburbs Magpies then.
Yeah.
But I also, too, during that year, I broke a couple of guys' noses. I broke a guy's arm. I broke a guy's jaw. You know, so I was, you know, 90-something kilos at 15 years old. And at that point in time, I could bench press. For the first time I ever walked into a gym at 15, I could bench over 200 pounds. And, you know, first time the people were staring at me in Leichhardt police boys.
You're at 200 pounds, yeah.
You know, and at school I could lift a bar that had like a long 6-foot bar, the old school ones with a big 50-pound plate and some collars. So 130 pounds, I could balance it in the middle with one arm and pick it up, which was quite impressive even to see somebody do it these days.
Yeah, of course.
And I'd like to see some people try it.
No.
So it'd be like using the Olympic bar with the 40s these days.
Yeah.
So that's about 135, I think.
Yeah.
So you've got to balance. The hardest part is to find the middle balance and then just with one arm pick it straight up, clean and jerk type thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if anyone wants to try it.
Go try it. Well, did you want to play... Like,
I wanted to play
rugby
but
league?
I wasn't sure where I was going because also, too, as a kid... I was very much into athletics. As a kid, I had my own shot put. I had my own javelin. I would go down to the bay because I lived at Abbotsford down the water when it was low tide, and I would put a block of wood and the sand, and I would do long jumps in the sand. I had my friend's grandfather built me high jumps.
Wow.
So then I put on my athletic shorts. I was only a kid. I must have been, 12, 13, and I put on my white T-shirt and got my mother to sew a patch with numbers on it.
Oh, God.
Like the
right, yeah.
And so I had my own kit. And to this day, I think I still hold a javelin record. The shot put, the first time I ever threw a shot put was at school. And so they put the circle where you throw from. And there was a building, I think it was like change room, toilets or whatever. And everyone's landing, and it's landing like meters before the building. So then when I threw it, it hit the building. So they had to move the circle further back.
Wow.
So yeah, and even back then, like football, I remember union. I had to go try out for a representative team. Like you have school, zone, area, state. And then I went down there and I wasn't going. And the teacher came and found me on the street. I was walking with a mate just smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
And he goes, fuck, Mitsos, what are you doing? And I said, I don't want to go. He goes, get in the car. He took me down. That was half time then when they were doing the tryouts. And I thought, fuck, I've got half a game to try to make it. And union, it's hard to see when you got fucking people all over you in a ruck. So I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll put headgear on. So I put some white headgear on. So wherever they could see the headgear, they knew it was me.
Wow, you're very skillful in thought, weren't you? You really looked at how, I don't want to sound this, you really knew how to persuade in a way that if it wasn't just going to be you, like you said, subliminal messages, the white helmet or the white cap, whatever it was.
The headgear.
That's what it's called, the headgear. Like, you really thought.
I made it.
Yeah, but you thought it through, didn't you?
Yeah, 100%.
To be standout.
Even when I went as a pro, I thought, I got to get to Joe Weider. So I thought, what I'll do is I'll write him a letter because I had big sponsors here. I used to have, because Weider, Balance, Neutralife were all owned by the same people. So I was mainly Neutralife, but if they wanted me to promote Weider, do Weider, Balance, whatever they wanted. So I remember at the time that, I forgot what we were talking. We were
saying about how you persuaded Weider to see.
Oh yeah. So when I was getting ready to go as the pros, I wrote him a letter, who I was, and I went and bought him an Akubra hat. So I knew that because I did all my homework, and I knew that he had horses on a ranch and he loved it. So I went and got him a beautiful Australian Akubra hat and a nice wallet, and I sent them to him. And he goes, "Thank you very much. I'll wear it with pride." And then he said, I'm going to pay for you when you come over here, I'm going to pay for you for 4 months accommodation for a month.
Wow.
So he paid for everything for me at the Marina Pacific Hotel, which was a bodybuilding hotel. And he had shares in it, I think. So I stayed there for a month, paid for by everything by him. I went to his office and I said, what do I wear? And they said, wear as little as possible. And they said, if you hear words coming out of his mouth, wow, you're a big guy. He goes, that's it. So I went up to his office in Woodland Hills, whatever it is, and he had a big table in his office. It was like a boardroom table, and he had papers everywhere. I mean, he's not even listening to me, but he's so far ahead. He was such a very smart businessman.
Yeah.
And I started talking to him about the products. He's making calls to Australia straight away. And then after we went and did a photo shoot, he said, I'm going to put you in the magazines. I went and did a photo shoot with Kevin Leverone and Porter Cottrell.
Wow.
And then we did a photo shoot, and Joe's sitting in his high chair like the director.
Yeah.
And we're under the cameras and all that and posing. And then after that, he took us to dinner. We went to his favourite Italian restaurant. We all had dinner. Kevin's flexing his triceps. I'm flexing my calves. I think that's the only place I got him in was the calves. So yeah, it was good. It was a lot of fun. And a lot of people don't even know who Weider is, but if you were good with Weider, you were gonna get the exposure that you needed.
Yeah.
So at that time too, in going as a professional was very different. The first time I walked into Gold's Gym, I remember seeing there was Flex, Chris Cormier, and their other friend Rico, because they used to train together.
Yeah, what was that like?
It was good. They were friendly. They were nice. I remember walking through, and Nitsa was behind me a little bit, and I remember Flex being a bit flirty with her. And then he apologised after.
Yeah, that's good.
No, they were top guys. The atmosphere was incredible.
Yeah.
I used to just go behind the counter. I'd go up to management, sit with all the corporates, and they'd make phone calls. How can Terry do better? Why didn't he do better? And they'd talk to the judges for me. Then they put me on. They said, look, if you want to open up a Gold's Gym, we give you all the rights to open up your own Gold's Gym in Australia.
Wow.
So I didn't go pursue that. I can't remember why, but they did everything for me. They said, we'll even give you what prices we get for the equipment, you'll get too. So they'll attach me on to their discounts. And so it was incredible.
Did you meet Ed Connors?
Yeah, I met Ed Connors, but just vaguely, because I think at the time, maybe just a hello or passing by, but not much more than that. But also, too, the beauty of it was you do a photo shoot in Gold, and they had the gym
love
shop,
that.
and the
They
gym
love
shop was
that.
massive.
Yeah.
But you weren't allowed to use cameras. No one could take photos in
it
there.
had to be professionals.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
professionals.
Ed made sure of that.
Yeah, and then inside the pro shop, you'd go in there and you'd take everything. 5 singlets, 10 t-shirts, 3 track pants, jackets, shoes, socks, caps, everything. You'd walk out with $4,000-$5,000 back then worth of Gold's gym gear.
Yeah.
And you go back later, more. Then it changed over the years because it was just more pros, more giving out. So then it wasn't feasible anymore. So they cut back on that. But yeah, the time of being a pro in the 90s was incredible because, you know, the exposure you get, people treated you different. To the point that, you know, I started training a couple of women and they'll pay me like, I don't know, maybe 70, 2 of them like $180 an hour, $90 each.
That's a lot back then.
Yeah, it was a lot. Yeah, and that's why I thought, you know, and these women were sort of famous. They all came with rich husbands. They didn't work. All they had was credit cards, and they just shop all day. And they were dressed in pink. They were called the Pink Barbies.
Yeah.
And they were in the magazines, and they were older women.
Yeah.
And I remember one day one of them came in. All they wanted me to do, they said, is touch us. So if they were training bicep, I had to touch their bicep. If they're doing the shoulders, I had to touch them. And when I'm touching them, they're making like orgasm noises. Oh. And people are walking past looking at me. I'm like, what do I do? They want me to touch them. And so, you know, but the thing is that
God, love bodybuilding.
as a professional, they didn't want you to train people because you're degrading yourself. But for me, just doing a couple of women there was nothing, just touching them and listening to them have orgasms.
Yeah, getting
was a bit of fun.
getting $180 an hour to listen to someone moan and touch their shoulder.
Yeah, it was a great time. You'd go down to for breakfast at the cafes and that with all the bodybuilding. They're still around now, the Firehouse and all these places. And it was a great time of bodybuilding because you'd see all the bodybuilders that would stay in the same hotel. They'd be all in the gym, so they would all come to the same area. And they come from all over Europe, all over the world, and come there for weeks, months, whatever.
You know, I've never really asked anyone this question. What was Sonny Smith like?
Sonny was a very nice guy, very quiet, very shy.
Because that's what Milos said as well.
No, very, very shy, but a really soft guy.
Yeah.
Really kind-hearted, really good friend. But I'd say very shy, but really like a big baby, big bear. But
yeah. What was his body like in real life when you saw it?
His body, once I was staying down at with Tony Doherty, and I was guest posing for him, and Sonny was staying there. And he'd gone from an amateur to a professional. I hadn't seen him for a couple of years. And he probably freaked me out as one of the most in bodybuilding, as a bodybuilder. And he just got up in the morning and he walked out with just his boxer shorts on or something. I thought, fuck.
Really?
This guy is fucking good and big.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's at his prime. He was very good.
Yeah, he was amazing. And obviously, it's funny because Milos sometimes says, you know,
Yeah, they used to hang out together,
he goes,
get stoned
yeah,
together.
well, they were best friends apparently. He loves Sonny Smith.
Yeah, they used to do it.
Yeah,
Well, at the
they were
time,
training partners, weren't they?
Yeah, at the time, yeah, they were always together when I was at Gold's Gym and in Venice and that. They were together.
So what was
too.
Milos like?
Milos I never had a lot to do with.
Yes.
He was a nice guy. You know, everyone was respectful with everyone, but, you know, some people hung out more. So, you know, Sonny and him were like best friends and hung out because Sonny was living there. So for me, and then I think Milos opened his gym. And so I think, you know, for me, I would only go in.
When did Milos open a gym?
I think it was called Colossus Gym. Milos Colossus Gym.
Yeah, when was that? Is that Colossus, huh?
In the 90s.
In the 90s,
Maybe when he
wow.
finished competing.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm not really sure of all the dates, but, you know, I'm pretty sure he had a gym. I don't know, maybe he still has it. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either. I didn't ask that question. Yeah, no, he always says hello to Teddy. I like Teddy.
Yeah, he's done well for himself. It's good that you can see these people, you know, this is 30 years ago, if not more, and now they're still relevant today.
Do you ever feel like catching up with them? Like, no, I'm not saying you
because
do. Let's say you went to America. Let's say you went. If you went to Vegas, let's say you went to Vegas. When you reach out to them?
Let me put it this way. I was in Vegas a few years ago, and quite a few years ago, but I was in Vegas, and I'm looking around, there's bodybuilders everywhere. And I'm thinking, what the fuck's going on here? And I was in a cab, and I said, well, what's going on here? He goes, the Mr. Olympia's on this weekend.
You didn't even know that?
No, not just that. I didn't know that the Olympia was on because I was so not into it as much anymore.
Okay, so
but also, too, the other thing was I could have just went because it was there. I'm in Vegas, the contest there, but I didn't go.
Why?
I didn't have the interest to go. I don't like going. I never like going to competitions. I don't like going to car shows. I don't like going to anything if I can't be part of it or I'm ready to buy. Like if I went to a boat show, I don't want to go to look at all these boats if I'm not going to buy one. Okay. Same with a car show and a bodybuilding show. It was all right to watch over and over, but at the same time, too, I want to be on there. Yeah. I don't want to be sitting in the audience. I want to be part of all this.
God, I've never been to Olympia. I'd like to go to Olympia.
Well, I went to 1980. I went to 1984, the one where Sergio Oliveira made a comeback and Lee Haney won.
Yeah.
And I walked out after a while anyway. I get a bit bored. But I was right up the front. I had second row at the prejudging. And there was Tom Platz, there was Lee Haney, there was Sergio Oliveira, Samir Bannout. So everyone was there. It was good to see. But I enjoyed the whole prejudging, but I didn't stay for all of it.
Tell me something. Do you think, because we're going to go back and forth, do you think that people talk about the physiques back then? And I had John Brown on. Mm-hmm. Remember we did Frank Zane, and I said I got John Brown at the end of the week or something like that. Now John Brown was a Mr. Universe. He was the era of the 70s and 80s, right? And he mentored Sean Ray and a few others. But this is what and you'll see it on the podcast, this is what John Brown said. He said, soon no one will be bodybuilding. This is what he means. He goes, there are ways, machines, drugs, surgeries that can make you look like anything you want now. You don't even have to pick up weights. In other words, he's saying the systems are getting so manipulated where there are, he didn't say these words, but there's things that can manipulate you to be bigger than you really are, to develop something that you don't have, and to push through things. So in other words, where before it was fundamental training hard, 2 days a week, twice a day, hardcore training, a lot of reps, maybe a lot of progressive overload, all that kind of stuff. And as well, you guys were doing a lot of free weights. And I think that's what gave you such an intricate body. Does that make sense?
I think
but do you understand what John Brown means by the fact that he reckons...
I don't think you'll ever take the weight training out of the sport. I think that's always going to be there.
Yeah, okay.
I think the difference was with me and that in the 90s, we used some machines, what we had access to, but we also used a lot of barbells and dumbbells.
Yes.
These days, they have machines for every single exercise, and they have 3 or 4
and it's got the
for every exercise.
There.
So, yeah, but the stability, but the thing is, if you look at the physiques, how they're very different. If we use Lee Haney as an example, or even Ronnie Coleman with barbells, dumbbells, you'll see a lot more styrations, cross styrations, a lot more feathering in the thighs and that. But also too, and the shape of the physique looks healthier, looks more pleasing to the eye, compared to these days where they use machines. So when you use a machine, the movement is the same movement. So if it's up, it doesn't move anywhere as a dumbbell will.
Yeah, you've got to call stability.
Yeah, stability, but also it's a lot of different angles. So, you can change the angles up a little bit. In a machine, the angles are fixed.
Okay.
So you're doing the same movement. Yes. Where if you're using like cables or dumbbells in flies, you can move them a little bit down, forward to hit different parts. But if it's a machine, it's just got the same angle all the time. So the physiques these days, to me, are a lot more blocky. So they have like big shoulders, big bicep, big tricep, but they look very unhealthy, big stomachs, and they look like they just ballooned out.
Yeah.
And also to their skin, they have more acne. Their skin looks like it's got like so much water retention. It's got a purpling colour under the skin that you look at them when they're very white.
Yeah.
And so, I think the sport has become... Bodybuilding was always unhealthy.
Yeah.
So, in general, taking drugs, very strict dieting, a restriction of all this stuff and everything, water, salts, this. It's not, the healthiest sport. But now I think bodybuilding is a lot more unhealthy because people weren't dying and like they are these days. People are dying because they're pushing their bodies to the limit, not with training. You never see people... You see more people discussing their cycles on social media than what you see them actually training.
100%.
So everyone, like, if that you to see, like, I've squatted 8 plates, over 700 pounds for reps. My best bench press is 595 for 2 reps.
Yeah.
I used to do side laterals with 80 pound dumbbells.
Yeah.
You don't see this anymore. You don't see guys training like this. All you see them is in big machines and very slow and strict. But a lot of them didn't even build their physiques like this. They built them more like the conventional way. And then after, when they get to this stage, you'll see them like doing short reps and this. And so
Mike Dedman said the same thing. He said, and even I heard Justin Wessels talk on a podcast recently. He said, if you didn't have 8 plates on your squat bar, like 4 and 4, No,
I had 8 and 8.
But what he's saying is, but what he's saying is, if you didn't have, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I saw that bit.
Yeah, if you
didn't have 4 plates at least
on either side.
Yeah.
That was entry level.
Yeah,
that was when you were considered a bodybuilder. Now people are moaning with.
But I, even like for a leg day.
But now they're using the Smith machine to squat.
Yeah, 100%.
But
I was going to say but it was all about the mind, because if I knew I was doing legs and I'm going to squat with 7 plates aside, or that day I was going to try to push it to 8 plates aside, you're talking about 600-700 pounds.
I remember myself doing that.
So also too, you're thinking at that time I'm going to hurt myself, because fear became a factor, and I would have some smelling salts. Smelling salts, and then before the set, and then I would have I always wore a headband because I felt like Rambo or something at the time, and I'd even headbutt the bar 2-3 times. I'd give it 2-3 headbutts just to get in the mode. And then squat and pray that I'd also pray too before I done my set, that I don't hurt myself.
Well, I remember that corner down the corner of your gym, right? That leg area. There was the squat bar, right? You had the leg press and you had the hack squat, and you had obviously leg raises, and you had that standing hamstring curl and you had the lying hamstring curl, right? That was that little section down there, right? And I remember going down there, and I remember, and firstly, how did we dress? Our tracksuits were ripped. Like they were like, so because of all the sweating through time, they were flimsy. The material was so flimsy, they were just baggy tracksuits. And I remember going down there, and seriously, I remember doing 6 plates maybe at times, which was my best. But I remember having like Junior behind me, to spot me. But we'd go so low to the point where, and like I said, lock in the kidney belt, and get so low. And then we got leg straps. When we sit there, we used to strap our legs up. But the thing is, I remember how low we'd go and how much we trusted the person that spotted us, that we weren't going to get stuck, but we had to get past that fear that when you're down low and to get up, that was going to be the most painful experience of your life. You know what I mean? And it just worked. But I think as well, I know you mentioned the striations, but you could never, I'm just telling you, if I gave you 2 dumbbells and I put a laser focus on you and I said, do 20 reps, right? And then I got the laser focus and you did it again, I promise you'll be moved a little bit, you don't even know it.
Yeah,
what I'm saying is you could do 10 perfectly, just 10 a little bit that way, maybe 10. By the time you finished, you actually, what I'm trying to say to you is the free weights captured literally everything,
because you didn't have to specify on the movement. The arm would just naturally,
and you had to balance as well and get through fatigue.
But also too, like squatting, I think a lot of people, they squat first because they think they have to, which is the biggest mistake. I learned that early on.
Oh, tell me.
And because I would never squat first for years, because I would have to squat 7, 8 plates each side. And by that time, it's too much stress on my joints. Nothing is warmed up properly. So I would start with leg extensions or hack squats, and I would only do squats last. So by doing squats last, my legs are so fatigued already, I would directly hit the legs rather than hitting the joints. I would have to do less weight, but be more productive. So the same with bench press. I quickly learned after, building to 595 pounds that, I wasn't going to build any more chest. I'm doing less. But I think the beauty of it is get rid of bench press and do at least 30-degree incline. You'll be more out of it on your chest rather than on your joints and your shoulders in a bench press flat.
Yeah, no, it's like I said, a lot of things have changed. Maybe if we get a coffee, Chris, I wouldn't mind a coffee. I feel like even last night I was at the gym. Last night I wrote your script and I was tired and I went at 10 o'clock. I went at 10 o'clock and I was doing legs. It was my leg day. And it was just funny, man. I was watching the people and everyone around me was on their phones.
Yeah,
but not just that. like one kid, he was on the abductors, whatever it was. I was trying to do the inside of my legs, right? I already done 4 sets of to failure on leg raises. And then I go, I'll just do one more, maybe you'll leave. I go there, I go, how many more you got left, mate? This is a young kid, he gets 3. And I was looking next to him, and anyway, I said, I'm training with you, I'm training in. So I trained him. We finished. I said, come here, what's your name? He was 18-year-old. I said, look behind me. I said, see that guy on the hamstring machine? Have you seen him move? He's in there on his phone. I go, look at his body. The way you're training, you're going to look like him. I said, mate, this is the time where you just come and destroy, and you go home and eat and rest and grow.
But it's social media. They want to take a photo of themselves.
But it takes forever, and they're not doing anything.
Yeah, but I think also too, because the phones are a distraction, and maybe they would have been a distraction for me in my time too.
Well,
but I would have
yes.
utilised the phone because but it would have worked against me because for the reason being I would have done more because I want to post it. So instead of just doing 600 or 700 pounds, I'm going to try to do 800 pounds because I want to post it. So I probably would have injured myself more if I had been in these days of filming everything and putting my workouts on there because I want to make them more impressive.
But you're different. You are a professional. I'm not. That's why I don't.
But a lot of these people, that's why they're on their
They're
phone.
not even professionals. What I'm trying to say is they're not even professionals. What I'm saying is you're a professional. Your media needs to be up there. Your media needs to show a lot
But I'm
of
saying
stuff.
that's why it was a good thing that I didn't have it back then because it would have worked against me.
Maybe, but you'll be surprised.
But I would have needed that filming too if I'm building up an image.
Yeah, you're building it. But the thing is, I think you'd work the room. You'd work the camera. You'd work everything. Because you know yourself that there's a certain amount of time you need to be spending on your legs to get the job done. You're not going to sit there for 3 hours with your phone and you're just doing quads. These guys aren't moving. They're just doing.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. They're not moving.
Minutes.
They're not moving from the bench. So they've done. He did one on abductors, and I had already done 5.
Yeah, for sure.
Sets of 15 reps, 12 reps. And I even did a 5th one, hoping he's going to finish. And when I went there, I go, how many you got left? He goes, 3. I said, and I sat there just to watch. And then there was a guy next to him. They were both like, I'm telling you, all I knew was that's why you have that physique. You're not going anywhere. Yeah. And I think, I spoke to him and go, listen, I'm not here to tell you what to do, but I'll just tell you, either you want to build something here or you don't. Because I can promise you now, in 2 years' time, you're still going to look the way you are. I can see you're fit, you're trying to be fit, but I said it's about hitting the muscle, getting the blood in there and burning it.
That's why, but also too, people don't understand or need to understand that it's not the time you spend in the gym, it's not just the reps you do, it's not the weight you do. It comes down to intensity.
Yes.
And intensity, when I was training at my peak, I would record everything.
Okay,
tell me. I record because if I know how much weight I'd done for each exercise, I know how many reps I'd done, and I know how long it took to finish that workout. So if it was back and it consisted of, 15 or 18 sets, and it took, because back then I would rest no more than 30 seconds.
Yeah, we did, that's right.
And then jump back in. But let's say for back as an example, my first set of back was 400 pounds pull downs, up to 450 for 20 reps on the machine that you remember in there, the white big lap machine. So I would do the whole stack with the first set of 400.
That whole stack, and if the wires were peeling, you cut your hands.
And then I would go on to bent over rows with 5 plates.
Yeah.
I've done T-bar rowing with 500 pounds.
Yep.
So it's not just the weight, it's also the rest period in between. And it's also to the repetition. So if you know those 3 factors and you keep the rest the same, you keep the weight the same, but you try to decrease the time just by a little bit, then the intensity of that whole workout is improved.
Yeah.
So the next session of back, I know everything I've done. So this time I'm going to say, okay, instead of doing 10 reps, I'm going to try to get 11 or 12. So I'll push it for the same weight and the same time, but push the reps up to 11 or 12. The next one I say, okay, let me try to increase the weight by a little bit now. So now I know the reps, I know the everything. I'm going to increase the weight a little bit. So now again, I've increased the intensity.
Yeah.
So once you know everything and you're doing and you're moving in a positive direction, then you're going to put the muscle under stress and it's going to grow. 100%. But a lot of people, what they were benching today, a year from now, they're pretty much going to be benching the same.
100%.
But the other thing is they don't understand, you got to be productive in every set. So a lot of people, pyramid, they don't even go, they might go up and down. So let's say a lot of people start with a 120-pound bench press. It's a warm-up. Let's say they start the next one at 140 or 160 and they do whatever, 10. And they've done the 10 comfortably, they put it back. The next one, they go 180, do 10, put it back. The next one, go to 200. Now 200, they're pushing 8 to 10 reps out and struggling, and they just get to 10. And they put it back. Now they think, okay, we're finished. We've done 1, 2, 3, 4, let's go. To me, they've done one. So that one set was that last one. You need to do that and another two more times of that, and then move on to the next one and be up to close to 100% your maximum weight. So when you're taking, and when you know how to get the maximum out of each set, then and utilize each set, it's very different to sitting there going up, next one, up, next one. You're only getting one set good, productive, next set productive, and then at the end of it, you've done 4 exercises, and you've done you think you've done 12 to 16 sets. You've only done 4 sets that have done anything of value. So you need to put all these things into perspective.
What a lesson! That's an amazing lesson. It's true,
Hey guys, Steve here. You know how much I love food. Food is very important to me. I'm an advocate for good food, good quality food, well-priced, well-valued food. And this is it. Macro Foods. I've searched long and hard and I found it. It took a while, but I finally found the best. Macro Foods, ready-made meals that actually hit your macros. Tasty, high-protein meals designed to fuel your goals without the prep time. Head to Macro Foods, that's with a Z, macrofoods.com.au and use code MTP10 for 10% off your order. I'm serious, guys. Only seek the best, eat the best, and promote the best. Macro Foods, macrofoods.com.au. Go now. Use code MTP10 for 10% off all your orders.
But even like diet drinks put on weight.
I don't drink that. I don't drink anything.
Yeah, but people don't realize that, like over the years I've trained, hundreds of people.
Yeah.
And,
Are we recording this, Chris? Yes, go ahead.
And so, and I've seen people that, drinking diet drinks and that, their weight doesn't come off. As soon as I tell them stop them and just go to water, then the weight falls off.
Yeah,
For some reason, when you're dieting and you sit there drinking all Diet Cokes and that, the weight stays.
I don't drink. I am insanely clean. I drink water. I don't drink any fizzy drinks. I've never drank fizzy drinks. I mean, if I'm with my kids and we go to a burger joint somewhere and it's these incredible burger joints and I said, all right, let's get a Coca-Like. We'll just have one together. Like we'll just drink it. But I don't even go to McDonald's. I don't go anywhere. Like I'll only do it. I don't do it. I saw my plastic bag. I bring pre-made food. I just make everything. It's very simple what I do, and it's a bodybuilder's lifestyle that predominantly started from going to your gym and training with you. Let's talk about, let's get to, well, I want to finish a little bit with the competing, all right? Let me just finish with the competing because I think it's only fair. What about that shot? Yeah, what a spirit of
my stud shot. My stud.
That's a spirit of a shot. You said I don't live in the past, but I came across this old picture. It's probably one of my favorites. I look back at this point, and you were 26. You 5 times Mr. Australia.
3, I think 4. No,
you were
4 at then. 4.
All right, 4 times.
5.
You were 5. You were 5 times Mr. Australia. I owned Mitsos Gym. I just started a sponsorship with Nutrilife supplements. That lasted 10 years. That's pretty good, man.
Yeah, we had a really good relationship, and nothing with ever contracts, and their sponsorship was worth close to 100,000.
100k per year. But what happened to that? Because now we don't have that. Everyone has affiliations.
Yeah,
everyone has discount codes. But what I'm getting is, don't you think the athletes have shortchanged themselves by allowing
there's so
free
much
publicity?
competition.
No, but it's the free publicity. These brands love it. Brands love it. Oh, I don't pay you, but you're going to put it on your social media.
Yeah, for sure.
And when we sell something, I'll give you 10% on my sales. Mate, go for your life. Now, it's like I said, it's all for free. It's all for free. Like what I'm getting at is, that's the biggest con job in the world.
But we worked together. They were just coming on the market. I was just.
You even had a Reebok sponsor.
I had Reebok. I used to get shoes every week. But then they had to pull the sponsorship because people were getting caught with steroids and they didn't want to risk anything happening. So, But with Nutrilife, you know, they send me Malaysia, Brunei, Singapore, Lebanon, Syria, South Africa. They send me New Zealand. They send me everywhere. And we would grow together. They put me all over their cans. I was all over their products.
How did you feel about that?
Yeah, looking back, you know, the sad part is there must have been millions of products that went through all these countries with my face on them. And I don't have one. So it just shows
They're on eBay selling for $1 million.
It shows you I don't live in the past.
They're on eBay.
I think because maybe because I was stoned all the time. I'm a pretty shy guy until I get comfortable. But I think, you know, going into comps, I would stay down the back. I wouldn't let people know I was there. I suppose because I didn't want to, you know, go up on stage. I didn't want to talk to people. I just wanted to see some of the show. And then,
Are you still shy?
Yeah, to a degree. You are. I'm within if I'm in a place where there's a lot of people, I'll just sit back and maybe just look at everyone and work out their personalities and see, you know, who's like the alpha and who's this and that, and then slowly just blend myself in.
What did you think when
I used to work as a bouncer. And we used to work at Stallions, and there was 20 of us there. It was so much trouble there. And, you know, I used to work on the front door, and there'd be 7 of us just on the front door, and there'd be teams, another 20 inside. We'd have 3,000 people, and the fights and the trouble. One day they undid my wheels, and going around and coming home, I used to come home from Parramatta to Abbotsford, and I'd be doing 160. The next day, going around a corner, my wheel came off because they did all my nuts.
Oh, my God.
Lucky I was going around a corner and the wheel fell off underneath. So nothing bad happened to me.
Look, yeah, you were like, it's funny, you know, because I used to watch you come to the gym. You didn't speak much. You didn't really speak to me much. Like you
I didn't really. You didn't speak. Not because I was stuck up.
No. But the thing is, but
I think because I was stoned.
Probably you're stoned. But the thing is, I'll tell you something though. It's funny, but how do we perceive bodybuilders? As arrogant, macho, tough, angry, rude. That's why when I used to see you sometimes, I go, "What's up with Terry?"
Yeah, but people might judge me, and
because what I'm saying, it's a bodybuilder's way.
Yeah, but people that knew me, and they'd run into somebody, and they'd say, "Oh, Mitsos is this, Mitsos," and they're like, "Do you know him? Have you ever met him?"
Yeah,
no.
No, I never. I used to know, like when because I want to do the comps, but I remember, like I said, you had a great smile. You did. You still have a great smile, and you always spoke quietly, and
I was always respectful.
And you didn't, and also you didn't want to say too much. Like if I asked you something, you'd explain it, but you wouldn't go. Like I go overboard.
But people think, you know, you tell them the truth and they don't believe you anyway. Like I've never taken more than 2 mils of testosterone in a week, ever. And like these days they pump, you know, 1,000 milligrams a week.
Yeah.
I've never taken more than 2 mils, which is equivalent to between 400 or 500, and they take so much, and they don't even at a competitive level. And so I never used much in the way of drugs because I only gained maybe about 2.5 kilos. If you look at my first comp, which was natural, and I think I was 80 kilos, and then you look it up to even up to the universe, the Mr. World, which was 10 years later at 108. So what's that, 28 kilos in 10 years? That's 2.8 kilos a year.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's not big jumps. So, you know, you can't take a little amount of gear and make these, you know, 10 kilo jumps, which I didn't. So it just shows you that every year it was just a little bit, and accumulates to a lot over a period.
But they don't want to believe you, do they?
No, so it doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, well, to this point that I never did a blood test for 15 years, over 15 years, because I thought, I'm not sick. What do I need a blood test for?
Of course.
And then after I was in a situation where I had to do one, and I thought, fuck, imagine how fucked up everything's going to be in my body. And nothing, everything was perfect. Testosterone levels, because my testosterone, the last time I had it checked, was taking a mil of testosterone, and my levels were like 2,500. And so I've always had high testosterone levels. Somebody once said to me, "You're like a bull shark. They have the highest testosterone out of any animal." But I never used to use testosterone because I thought of it as a dirty steroid. I didn't even think of it as a steroid. I thought, why do I need testosterone? My body's fucking full of testosterone. So I was more to the anabolics.
What were you taking? Can you share it?
Yeah. I would, like in the beginning, my first cycle ever was Decadrabolin, which was 50 milligrams, and Dianabol, which was 15 milligrams. So
I think I think Milos is still taking Deca, you know.
but each to their own, whatever they want to take.
No, he's happy. He said
I took the first cycle was 5 milligrams a week of Dianabol, 10 milligrams, 15, and then after 15 was maybe 2 weeks, and then come back down. So my first cycle was maybe 6 to 8 weeks, and the only thing we ever used was Dianabol, Deca, Primobolan Depot, which was very safe and anabolic, and so maybe testosterone after. But we used to use a lot of veterinary products. So veterinary products were cheaper, and people like, but they're for horses, and they're like, do you know how much a thoroughbred racehorse is worth? Millions. How much is your body worth? You know what I mean? So, that's what we used. They were cheaper and they're accessible. But also, too, there was out of everything I've ever used, there was one steroid, you never hear of it, and it was given to me by a very successful bodybuilder, better than me, and there's no need to mention names or anything.
No, I don't need, no.
And it came from the East Germany, DDR. So this was in the communist time, and so it was made specifically for sports athletes. And it was a white, it looked like almost milky white, but thick, in a little 10 ml bottle, 30 ml bottle. And so you couldn't inject it. It was like thick glue. It was like.
So how'd you do it?
You had to put it in hot water and leave it in there for 5 minutes, and then it would dilute, and then you pull out and inject a mil. So you needed a mil every day because I suppose it was highly anabolic. It was called Baster.
Wow.
And this stuff, I've never heard of it. Maybe the people say the name, but it's not the same stuff as what I had. This stuff was amazing, absolutely amazing.
I love this story, Chris. This is going to be a great reel.
This stuff was off its head.
Yeah.
I've never seen it, never heard of it ever again since.
Wow.
And I slept 4 hours a day. I'll never forget. I had an erection all day. It wouldn't go down. This is true. This is how powerful this stuff was. This was. I slept 4 hours a day. Fat was falling off me. Wow. I was in incredible shape. But I used it because I'd never used it before. I used it in my off season. I didn't use it pre-comp. And I thought, I've got to get one for pre-comp. And I got another bottle. But then when I was putting it in the hot water, I thought, this can't be real. Something's wrong, because the label was coming off. Where the first one, the writing was stuck. But on the second one,
so it was a fake one.
Yeah, but I didn't realise that my body's holding water. But the first one, I remember at night time, I would have a bowl of 6 good stuff like Wheat Bix. I would put yogurt, milk, rice pudding, peaches, and I would put it in a salad bowl because I couldn't put it in anything else. It was so big, it was like this. And I'd sit there and eat that every night.
For bed?
Yeah, before bed. And I'd wake up and I'd be shredded in the morning.
This is what I'm saying.
This stuff was incredible. But you'll never hear of it. I've tried to find it. I've tried to look it up. I found the name, but it's not the same.
But tell me something. You keep saying when you're on a cycle, it seems like everyone's full-time on cycles now. No one comes off.
Yeah, but no, a lot of them don't come off.
And I'm just saying, when I look.
But coming off, and then they say they've come off, they're staying on something. Like for me to maintain my body.
Did you have to stay on anything?
If I took 10 milligrams of Dianabol or 15 milligrams, it was enough to maintain everything on my body.
Keep doing, go ahead.
So, a lot of other people, they go big in the off-season and then they go, get ready for pre-comp. I was the other way. I never took much in the off-season. I went cold turkey, come off everything, let my body, when you're ready to go again, when you start getting morning erections.
Yeah. And
that way, your levels are back and you're ready to go again. So I always,
How long were your cycles?
Well, a contest cycle would be at least 12 to 16 weeks,
and
but they would change.
And what about off season? Did you ever stay off? Did you ever not take anything for a little while?
Yeah, of course.
How long?
When I had a few injuries and that, a year.
But if you were competing, you'd be 12 weeks on. How long off to the next?
16 on, and then after, a lot of bodybuilders back then would just come off cold turkey. After the show.
But that's what I'm saying is even
you get some joint pains.
But even Ronnie Coleman couldn't wait. Lee Priest said I couldn't wait till the end of the comp.
Yeah, 100%.
They couldn't
I couldn't
wait.
stand putting injections in.
Look at this. Look what I. Look, this is my cycle. Look, 2 stanner per day, 1 mil test per week. Blackmore's, magnesium. I rate everything, 9-gauge tip needles. Like, because someone was teaching me and I was typing, I said, what do I do? What do I do?
Yeah, but even the size of the needle has changed these days.
Yeah.
Because we used, back then, was 21 gauge to inject and 19 gauge to draw.
Yeah.
Now they use 21 gauge to draw, and they use 23 gauge or smaller to inject. Some of them even use insulin. I don't even know how you can even do that.
Wow, yeah. Now, this one said I needed to use 19-gauge tip to
draw.
25-gauge tip.
25 to inject. So you got 19 to draw.
Yeah, and then 25.
And then 25 to inject.
Maybe.
Because we used to inject with 21.
Well, it was. I wrote this down. It was a 1 mil insulin barrel, whatever it was.
Wow.
1 mil.
You're new school bodybuilding.
Yeah. Three stanners per day, 2 mils test per week.
Well, you see, you've taken as much testosterone as I've taken.
And 3 mils tren per week.
Tren?
I took tren to rip up at one stage.
See,
I know
back
dangerous.
in the day, it was the real stuff. We had parabolin.
Yeah.
We had Finiject, which was a veterinary version of it.
Glenbuterol.
Glenbuterol, see, these days it's all man-made.
Glenbuterol.
We had the proper one, BioRinger from Germany.
What wasn't I on there? But the thing is, but I did this. Look, even dates. Look, when I would increase my dates, like when I decided to do, I was 49. I showed you photos.
Yeah.
So I was natty training. I was training good, and to be honest, I do want to do a cycle again. I do. Maybe I'll
yeah, but see,
and I'll tell you why I want to do a cycle again. Because I didn't do everything right before the cycle. Meaning I didn't train for a couple of years, super clean, get my rhythms in, get my discipline in, get my food in, get my rest in, get a routine, natural new routine. I think I did 3 months good, and I said I'll do a cycle now. Where I want to.
Yeah, but if you're going to compete, you don't have a reason to do everything 100%. Because you have no end goal.
I have an end goal, mate.
Yeah, but an end goal to go to away, or I'm saying it's very different when you're going to put your body on stage and be judged by everyone.
Maybe I want to. But that's what I'm saying. I like to see it once.
If you commit to something,
yeah, I want to commit.
A lot of people say, "See how I look 6 weeks out. See how I look this."
No.
You're never going to get there.
No.
You need to commit. Tell everyone, I'm going. So that way you'll be accountable and you'll be held to that, and you'll make sure that you end up in good shape on stage.
Well, maybe I've got to come and we've got to talk, Terry, because I've never competed. I think I want to compete one time. I don't know when.
I think you should do. See, that's the other problem. I'm not ready now. No. I'm not saying about you in general.
Yeah.
You know, no one's ever ready.
No.
But you got to make yourself that this is it, and you will be ready.
I've got to.
For you now, if I was you, I'd say next March.
Yeah.
When the
that's what I'm saying. Yes.
Next March. If you leave it any longer, don't worry about it.
No. But I think natural. I've been natural for. No, what I'm saying is I've been natural now for about 5 years, 6 years. I said 49 to 50 I took. But I think you're right, I'd like to, but if I did do one comp, I want to do a few. I want to not only hit one, I want to year, I want to hit a few because I'm in contest prep, so I want to back off a little bit and back on again. I don't want to go.
Yeah, but you got to do the first one. There's no use thinking past the first one.
No, but that's one. But I'm still working out. But I think I said to you, last time I took a cycle, I was probably 3 months, maybe even 6 months training good. Like I had, you know what I mean? Like now I've been building up since 2.5 years ago to lose 20 kilos to get myself back down. Like I'm 87 kilos now, whatever, I'm 86 kilos. I think now I've got a routine in place. I've got my food in order. I'm prepping food well.
Sure.
I'm sleeping well. I'm not drinking alcohol. I'm not doing anything. I'm very clean, like super clean. I think that's the prime reason to now up the game a little bit differently. Does that make sense? I've built a
You're ready now,
I've built a discipline.
Yeah.
I've built a discipline not on what I would be on a supplementation take. I've built on my food, the natural stuff around me that I can utilize. I'm trying to utilize that. Eventually, like I said, I think I'd like to one day, but I just worry. I tell you the truth. I worry if I'm too nervous. I'm worried so I have to be. Someone's going to have to be in my head.
Yeah, but if you don't make a commitment, nothing's ever going to happen.
Don't
You'll
worry.
be right.
Yeah, I hear you. But I'm not really a talker. But I'm just saying what I'd like to do. We'll see if we can do it. We'll see. But I want to know. So, firstly, how's Con?
No, he's good. He's good.
What's he doing with himself?
I don't know where he's working, but he's good.
He's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fit, healthy. Yeah,
Is he?
Fine, yeah.
Yeah, I remember him being at the gym there. I remember your protein shakes had egg in it as well. And do you know when
They used to come from Liverpool to Marrickville for those protein drinks, and they still talk about them to this day.
Well, I'll let you know, I opened up a juice bar in the city at the age of 30. So 2000, exactly 2000, I was 30 years old. And I opened up a juice bar in the city, and I had protein shakes. One protein shake and a couple of smoothies. And my protein shake had an egg in it.
Okay.
It had an egg in it, right? I threw an egg in it. And I had all this like lecithin and all this other stuff that people, and I used to get people come from all over the city. I had a lineup for that one protein shake.
Sure.
And it just had banana. So they said, I better make a few different ones. So then I did banana and blueberry, banana and raspberry, the raspberry, strawberry, blueberry. But all of them, crack, open an egg, and they found it crazy. They go like, wow, real eggs in a protein shake. Okay, yeah, that's how we trained.
Ideally, you want to put that raw egg, into warm water or hot water just for a few minutes, because then it just changes the structure of it, so it's more digestible. So ideally, but it's not going to matter.
Have you ever thrown it with a shell in there? You can do it with a shell.
Yeah, no, I'm not that crazy.
Have you done an avocado smoothie?
No, look, to be honest,
but for
me, for dieting,
but avocado, you know how delicious it is.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not about that. For me, I've never dieted more than say 3 days. Like dieting for comps, I would drink Coca-Cola every day and chew gum. And also too, I would break my diets. Like after a comp, I went from 93 to 110 in 5 days, kilos. 17 kilos I put on in 5 days.
Is that fat?
No, it was water.
Okay.
But I was like a balloon. At the time, my girlfriend didn't even recognize me when she opened the door. And I went to a doctor. I said, fuck, you got to give me something to get some of this water out. And I told him what I do, who I am, and he got a pen and paper, and he's writing everything out. He goes, I've never met anyone like you. This is freaking me out. And he's taking all his notes. You could push your finger into my body, and it would go like about 2 inches deep.
Yeah, wow. But how did you diet down in only a couple of days?
Yeah, but my dieting, when I started dieting for a comp, I would start on about 4,000 calories.
Yeah.
And I need a lot of carbs.
What did you take it down to?
Never lower than 2.5, but I would go Monday, Tuesday. So this is my type of dieting. Let's say if I'm Monday, I'm 120 kilos. And let's say I diet, and then I go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. By Thursday night, I start to fuck up. Friday, I fuck up. Saturday, Sunday, I fuck up.
Oh, my God.
So then by Monday, I get on the scales, and I'm 121. I think, fuck. So I start dieting again. By Thursday, Friday, I'm down to about 119.5. So I'm coming down. Then I'm back out by the weekend, and back to the Monday, I'm 120.5. Fuck. Down we come again, 119, 118.5. Then up again. So, and also too, I would just have a big bottle of Coke in the fridge. Every time I walk past, I take a swig of Coke, or I chew PK gum or juicy fruit. Yeah. And I'd always never miss out on anything. If I wanted to eat it, I'd like, fuck it. If I felt like ice cream, and also to the way I would do it, I'd have an ice cream, I'd have a bite, and then I'd throw it in the bin straight away. So that would be for my craving, and then throw it in the bin. But I've never dieted more than stuck to a diet without breaking it at all for more than 3 days.
Wow.
And then I try to pull it all in the comp. Once I was working, and I was 3 weeks out before a comp, and I was doing some removal stuff. And I was still young, and we're in the city, and we're moving all this furniture in office block. And I found their storeroom with all their biscuits. And you know those assorted packs where they have 50 biscuits, Monte Carlos and all that, and the packet of
Vovos.
No, there's no Vovos in there, I don't think. But all the assorted chocolate, thing, Monte Carlos, all that. So it's got like, I don't know, 50 biscuits or more. And I found boxes of them, boxes. And I thought, fuck. I started eating everything. I ate 4.5 packets. I had a whole box. I demolished them. So I had over 200 biscuits with coffees. And then I was crying. I was so depressed.
You would be the worst. The way people talk today, people cry when they've
That's why when I see these people, and
they cry, they get them, they go, you've got to be prepping 16 weeks out.
That's what makes me sick listening to all this and seeing that they walk into the gym with their bag. They're like they're going on a big mission, and in their bag they have pre-workout, post-workout. They have water. They have fucking towels. They have gloves. They have belts. They have this. They have everything. I used to walk into a gym. I never wore a belt until I got to at least 400-pound squats.
Yeah.
Or even bent over rows. I never touched the belt.
Yeah.
Because the more you wear the belt, the more you're going to weaken your back.
Yeah.
Because your back, and after you're going to become used to it, you need the belt all the time.
I know.
And the only other thing, I had 2 little sponges. Yeah. That's all I use. The rest of it was, what you put in. Not me walking into a bag like I'm a big professional.
But the thing is, they're like disciplining.
Yeah, but these people are going to get so depressed later in life. See, for me, I knew what I wanted, but I wasn't going to miss out on everything else.
But you also wanted to have fun with it.
Exactly. When I look back now, I could have done a lot more in my bodybuilding, but I don't regret it because I didn't miss out on anything. Yeah. Everything I wanted to do, everything I wanted to eat, everywhere I wanted to go, whatever I wanted to do, I did. And, sometimes it worked against me, but I'd pull it back in time. So I think, I could have been a lot better. But it is what it is, and I'm happy with everything.
Look, that era bodybuilding, like I said, it was a bit of a cowboy town. But now
I didn't do it for any reason other than for myself. Do you know what I mean? Like for me, my ambition as a kid was to have I wanted to go to work in a tracksuit and a briefcase. So, everyone would go to work, tracksuit was a gym, a suit and a briefcase. Yeah. So I thought, fuck, I don't want to do that. I want to be a businessman, but I want to be a sportsman.
Yeah.
So, I accomplished that. I'd go with my tracksuit, Mitsos Gym, and my briefcase.
Top tracksuits, man. We used to buy your tracksuits.
They used to sell out so quick.
I know, man. It was.
Or everyone up the cross, all the bouncers, all the prostitutes. Everyone used to wear Mitsos Gym.
Yeah, Chris, it's true. All the pros and all the prostitutes,
the spooksters. Everyone's Mitsos Gym. I used to sell out everything. I'd buy enough for a period of time. It'd be gone in a week.
It was, and the big opening up here on around the neck. You had some stuff like you had a lot of.
There was a lot of different ones. I'd get a lot of different designs. I had my own clothing range, but then after, it was very hard to promote or do anything. And at one stage, I had my own supplements. Yeah. In 1984, I was training at Paul Graham's gym. There was a guy there, a smart businessman, and he goes, "Why don't we open and get some supplements?" I said, "Yeah, why not?" So we started Superflex amino acids. Yeah. And so he'd get the supplements from Japan or wherever, New Zealand, and we'd get like 10,000 and we'd split them and we'd put them into bottles and we'd put our labels on them and we'd have them all ready. And there was no shops or no social media, so I sold them out of the car, out of my boot. They went like crazy. I was selling them like crazy before there was any supplement companies around, before Nutrilite, before Balance, before Masashi, and they were going like crazy. This business was going to go mad. And then the guy that he was idea, he goes, "Listen, I don't want to do 3 of us." He goes, it's going to be my company and I'm going to sponsor you and the other bodybuilder. I said, "You're a fucking idiot. I'm going to sit there and I'm going to sell my name and everything, give you everything, and I'm going to be a sponsored athlete." So it all fell apart again because of greed.
Greed, man.
And, I had a kit of weights called Workout with Mr. World. So I had a training chart, I had a barbell, dumbbells and all that. And it sold for like $100 at a Workout World. I think Workout World might be Rebel these days.
Yeah.
And, and I done him a contract cheap. It was only $500. And after a year, I said, the contract's over. He goes, "So what are you going to do?" So what do you mean, what am I going to do? It cost me more to go to a solicitor to seek legal advice than what it did for the $500. Yeah. He wanted to keep using my name. So again, greed. Everything was always because of greed.
Like I said,
when people understand that there's enough for everyone,
there is.
But then when they see potential, they want to be the only one.
You know what? I have this, and I've told Chris this, and I tell it to many people. Better to get $1 from 1,000 people to make $1,000 than try to make 1,000 out of one person.
Yeah, for sure.
Because if one person leaves, you still got $900, right? 900. Like if you get $1 from 1,000, one person leaves, you got 999. Whatever it is, one person leaves 9. It's like a Jim's mowing thing. You got a thousand clients, one leaves, you still got 999 clients.
But I've never been driven by money.
No, but the thing is, what I'm saying is, everybody tries to retire on people.
But I think, a lot of people, are driven by money. Everything's always related back. Obviously, you need money, but if you focus just on money, you might never, because money's like never stops. It's a number. Numbers never end. So if you're chasing money, you're going to be chasing it forever. You know, how much is enough money? How deep is a hole? How long is a piece of string?
Yeah,
you
but
know, how much money is enough money?
Yeah, but the thing is, most people.
But everyone wants to show off. Everyone wants the fancy cars and all this until they're diagnosed with some, illness, and then after, money means nothing.
Yeah.
When you're given, 12 months to live, and then you go $1 billion, what are you going to do with it? It's not going to buy you any more time.
No.
So
Well, it didn't buy Steve Jobs.
I think you need to live, enjoy your life, rather than basing it all around, money. Like when I was young, I don't know, I've always felt blessed. And I even told Nitsa, you could ask her, when I first met her, I said, Nitsa, don't ever worry about money. I'll never have a lot, but we'll always have enough. Yeah. I said, and she'll remember this, and this is like 30 years ago or whatever. And to this day, I still have the same belief, I'm not driven by money, I don't chase money, but I have enough to enjoy my life and do whatever I need to do.
Yeah, no, I like that mindset. I like that philosophy. I try to run that philosophy, but like I said to you, many people try to.
But
it's very hard.
I've been to Brazil, and I've seen kids like in today's society and with money, they'll get a one of those cars, remote control, the aeroplanes, $5,000, they'll smash it, or after a week they're sick of it, they'll get something else, a go-kart. Well, I've seen kids in Brazil with a soccer ball sit there and play soccer with a ball all day long, and they're happier than the kids that have got these $5,000 toys.
Yeah. I've seen. Look, I want to talk about that, but I wanted to know. Okay, so because I think people want to know, and I want to talk about your trips too, because you do a lot of trips. I write all your trips down.
What about the comp? If we're still doing the comps, the 85 comp.
No, I want to talk. Well, I wanted to bring this up. I wanted to bring that. This is. You tell me this is your professional IFBB placements. All right, I went. I asked AI. I asked AI. All right. It says 1992 Chicago Pro Championship.
Yeah.
17th. Hear me out this time.
No, when 92.
92, but then you did Niagara Falls Pro Invitation. You got ninth.
Yeah.
So you did Chicago Pro Championship. Look,
that's the one. The Chicago Pro is the one with Ronnie.
Yeah, 17th.
That's the picture.
Yeah, and then you got 19th, 1993 Chicago Pro, Niagara Falls 15th. Pittsburgh Pro International 13th, Florida Pro Invitational 8th, Ironman Pro International 10th in 1995. What I was going to say is, what's one of your most favourite or memorable comps?
Well, I think 92 was my first pro show. I went really well, but also too, I broke my hand, and not many people know, I broke my hand about 8 weeks out. I had a fight with Nitsa at the time, and she went up and done aerobics. She came down, we were engaged, and the fight continued, and she threw the engagement ring at me. And then I said, that's not how you throw it. Let me show you how to throw it. And I threw it, and it was smashed to bits on the wall. And I thought, fuck. And I was so depressed. So I punched the wall, and I broke my hand. My hand. I fractured it in 2 spots here. And I thought, fuck, this is embarrassing. I told people then I broke it on dumbbells. It got stuck between 2 dumbbells. But this was 8 weeks out. I was so depressed because I was looking so good. I thought, what am I going to do? And then in the beginning I went and they put a cast on it. And they built me a cast, and it had like a hook and a hook. So the hook here was people would put like the 100-pound dumbbell in, so I could do presses with it. And the hook this way was so I could do pull-down stuff and back work with it. So I used that. I thought, fuck, this is not good. I can't even go to the toilet properly with this cast. So I sawed the cast off, and I thought, fuck it. And so then I got local anaesthetic. And before I started training, I would sit there and get the local and inject it into my hand everywhere, and just till my hand was completely numb. And then I trained. My hand was like a balloon. And then I put my hand in ice water and till it went down. And the next day again, I'd inject it again.
Oh, God.
So I did this for the last 8 weeks. And I looked fantastic. I could look better, but I was still very happy. But, at that point in time, I can't pull out. I was so depressed. I had to find a way around this. So, yeah, that's how far I went. I would inject it every day with...
Jesus Christ. What about Australian shows? What were some of your favourite Australian shows? Tell me something about them.
Well, 85, after winning, 82, 83, 84, and then came to 85, and I'd built up such a following, and it was, I didn't even own a gym, and I would sell like 200 tickets out of my hand. And so I built a massive following, because everyone wants to see the heavyweights. And there was a Finnish guy called Jyrki, and it was always between me and him. And so it was a big clash in 85 between me and him, and everyone had spoken about it. Everyone was ready to see this. At the prejudging, he had beaten me, or I felt that he was in front, and people said whatever. Then I went off between prejudging and nighttime and ate some ice cream. But leading up to that, I didn't go to the pose down. So this Yerky was training and living at Paul Graham's gym, and I was training, and he walked through. And I said, Yerky, how are you? And he said, I will destroy you. I said, what do you mean you're going to destroy me? I said, take your shirt off. So he came, he took his shirt off, and then they were Carol Graham, and they went and got camera, and there's photos I still have, and we're posing, and I killed him. Because I had my chest was pumped, he was still flat, but I destroyed him, and everyone knew it. Then everyone wanted to help him. It's like, let's help him. It's like, why does everyone want him to beat me for? So then after that, I moved. I left that gym. It was a few weeks out, and I had to go to Bob Landers because I couldn't deal with all the stress of everything. And then we had to do the weigh-in. And I thought, fuck, I don't want to go to some stupid weigh-in. And, I'm preparing my body because I never showed my body before a comp. I don't want to expose it till the day of the comp. So I want people to say, fuck. I don't want to sit there and show people anything until the time comes. So when the time came, I didn't turn up to the weigh-in. And they said, you're disqualified. I said, what do you mean I'm disqualified? I get a doctor's letter. They said, no. I said, well, okay, I'm a light heavyweight because it was in 2 days the weighing. I said, I'll weigh in the next day. You can't stop me. And if I'm too heavy, I'll go into the heavyweights. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what my weight is. So I had all these different angles. And they said, you need to get permission from everyone. So the 2 nights before the comp, I'm running around Yerky on his caravan. Do you mind if I compete? Compete, I will destroy you anyway. And I'm like, everyone's going to destroy you. So then when I got to the comp and we're on stage, I knew that he was in front in the morning show. The night show, I had a few ice creams. And I thought, fuck, I feel good. And then they knew it. When they put us up together, I killed him. The comparisons, I destroyed him. And everyone could see that. And they were sitting there because I had a massive audience, and they was tables like this. And they'd be, Mitsos, hundreds of people. Yeah. Mitsos. So they got really scared. They're like, fuck, what are we going to do? So then they waited till the end completely. And then they opened up, I saw them opening up the exit doors. You know those exit doors that open up at the auditoriums? They opened up all these exit doors. And they said, listen, we're going to introduce you to all the judges. And they got each judge up on stage one by one. And they said, these are the judges. If you don't like the decision, these are your judges. So then they knew what was going to happen. So then there's just me and him standing, the doors are open, the judges have been introduced. They said in second place, Terry Mitsos. That was it. The crowd went crazy. They picked the tables up. They threw the tables. They threw chairs everywhere.
There was all the bouncers and the pros from the cross.
It would have been all over the news. Chairs were flying everywhere. People flying, shit everywhere.
It was. Bodybuilding was
tough. They went to the toilet apparently. I didn't see it. I was told later. Because then they started blaming me. I said, because some lady spat in Paul Graham's face, but it wasn't my mother. And I think it might have been my girlfriend's mother at the time. Yeah. And they got shit in the toilet and they're writing all over the walls. This was full on. And so, it got pretty bad.
And all you were doing is competing and everyone was against you. And the crowd wasn't.
No, not the crowd.
The crowd wasn't against you. What I'm saying.
Well, I think they wanted to bring me down a notch because I was just getting too powerful. Like with all my success and all my exposure.
But that's what we want, don't we? Or do we have that tall poppy shit?
Yeah, no, we have that. So at the end of the day, they wanted to bring me down a notch because me leaving the federation, I had too much control. So, you need to put a cap on that because, no one's above the federation. So, that's what happened. And then because when I left the federation, they had to have a meeting because my sponsors said, they said, because IFBB said, get rid of him. And Neutral Life, and they said, we're never getting rid of him. They said, we'll get rid of you before we get rid of him.
Wow.
And so they had a meeting. They wanted to settle this because I was turning pro. So I came back to the IFBB after I won the Mr. World. And I came back to get my pro card to go 92. They had a meeting with us. They had Paul Graham there, me over here. They were in the middle, Neutral Life, all the representatives. I remember he charged at me because the meeting wasn't going too good.
Paul Graham?
He ran at me. Nothing happened. And, we're friends today, but, this was all what was happening. And so, it got pretty bad at one stage where, because when I left the federation, he was blaming me for rigging competitions. He was blaming me for this. I went to a barrister. He said, the only thing you can do is cause him inconvenience. It's going to cost you $20,000. I said, I'm going to pay $20,000 to cause someone inconvenience. I said, don't worry about it. So, we sorted everything out and, I went on with Neutral Life and, we became friends again and So yeah, there's been a lot of ups and downs.
Wow. I mean, you know what? That's I guess the emotions back then of bodybuilding. It was a raw sport. It was a lot of emotions, a lot of fire, a lot of testosterone.
Yeah, but a lot of that is taken out now in comments.
Yeah, but
on social media.
Yeah, but the thing is, in comments, they're predominantly keyboard warriors that are wimps. The people that came to your show, some of them can fight. Some of them are angry.
Oh, the Greeks, yeah,
the Greeks. What I'm saying is, this, if it's going to be old-fashioned fisticuffs,
Yeah,
they're on.
the Greeks,
They're on. They're on. They'll fight. That's what I'm saying is, where now today no one fights. Like they're all like keyboard
same
warriors.
football.
It was it's literally as tough, you know. But tell me, Mitsos Gym, like you said, and the cross. It's amazing. You know what's funny? It's amazing that when I watched the Golden Mile underbelly, that Mitsos Gym was never mentioned.
Yeah, but
Because
Mitsos Gym attracted all these people.
You had, because I know. I'll tell you why I know. There was something about Mitsos Gym. And I used to see this. When you'd go out, I'd go to the Kazi Club, or I'd go somewhere, or I'd go to the Cross. Even if I didn't talk to the guy at the gym, but he saw I was from Mitsos, he'd go, "You train at Mitsos, yeah?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "And with me, you junior?" And I knew him, but I just never talked to him. He goes, "Get in." Like it was just a rite of
It was
passage.
respectful in the gym. In 27 years of my public gym, I think there was 2 little scuffles, and one of them was my brother in it.
Yeah.
So there wasn't, not Con, my other brother. So there wasn't a lot of trouble, and people were respectful in the gym, but there was a lot of I don't know, bad people. There was a lot of infamous people, and that were on the
Golden Mile, underbelly.
Yeah, underbelly and that, and so there was a lot of that, but I can't control that. Like one day, Raptor Squad, which are full on coppers, they jumped out one day, and they said to me, you got a lot of gangbangers in here and that, and I said, well, what do you want me to do? I said, they all probably eat at the same McDonald's too.
Yeah.
So I said, I can't control that, and why don't you ever call us? I said, call you for what? The police? There's no need to call you for anything, and they, they were the types. There was never any trouble, but yeah, there was a lot. You could write a book just on the gym itself.
Yeah.
But also too, there was a lot of good points where people met, their girlfriends at the time. They went on to be their wives.
Yeah.
And then they had children. And then their children came and said, "Oh, my father used to train here."
Yeah.
So there's so many kids I've met where "Oh, my father talks about you, my mother, this, that." So being who I was in my gym in Marrickville didn't help me either, because a lot of people wouldn't come and train there because there was too many big guys, and they felt like they had to get bigger before they came there.
Of course.
So
that's right. Yeah.
as much as being who I was attracted people, it also deterred people too.
Yeah.
So that's why the private gym, it was more about just me picking who I wanted in my gym.
Yeah, I noticed that. I noticed that you had. So look, I want to talk, because you have travelled the freaking world.
I've been to 52 countries.
Yeah. I'm telling you, because I got it here. You have been. Yeah, look at this. You've been Amsterdam, Cuba, Jamaica,
That was my last trip.
Madeline, Vietnam, Dubai, Stockholm, Helsinki, Riga, Latvia, Berlin, Copenhagen, Amsterdam, London. I said that twice. Belgium, Paris, Venice Beach, Colombia, Costa Rica, Greece, Panama. But you have this fascination with what's his name?
Pablo?
Yeah, Pablo Escobar. You seem to love it, and you go there a lot.
No. I just think that I liked the whole image of everything, and
Yes.
but he wasn't a good man. And
Yes.
in Colombia, in Medellin, half the people like him and half the people can't stand him. So he did hurt and kill a lot of people.
Yeah.
I did go to his gravesite a couple of times, and I actually took part of the grave, some rocks and that, and I was going to make them into medallions and sell them to like drug dealers, because it would be like, it's original because I've documented it and all that.
Why do you want to sell it to drug dealers, eh?
Well, who's going to buy them?
But-
Like an eBay.
And who says they're going to buy them off you? They'll probably just take it. They're drug dealers.
No, but I'm selling them on eBay. They got to pay me. I get the chain put on them. I get them, the stones and that. I've got them all recorded where I took them and all that. So everything's recorded. So it's documented. It's real.
I love
authentic.
I love your business mind, man. But isn't it enough that someone pulled a gun on you and came in with a hand grenade?
Yeah, but that was
And you want a
that wasn't for
private
me. I was supposed to watch for me.
and then you want to sell to drug dealers. That's hilarious.
Well, in Colombia, there was like a good story. Was I was in Medellin, And the first time I ever went there, and I was leaving, I was supposed to go on to Peru, but I didn't want to go to Peru. I wanted to go back to Costa Rica.
Yeah, that's right. There, yeah, that's
And
right.
so when I was there, and I went to check in, and I was about to board the plane, and they're coming around, they're saying, yellow card, yellow card. I said, I don't know what a yellow card is. I said, I'm Australian, I have a passport. They kept coming, yellow card. I said, I don't know what you want. What do you want? They said, yellow fever vaccination. I said, I don't have that. They said, well, you can't get on the plane. You have to go to a different country. You can't go back to Costa Rica because you're not vaccinated and you don't have the papers. I said, well, I can't go. I've just lost a $2,000 ticket. Now you want me to go buy another $2,000 ticket? I said, I got no money. I said, I'm not going anywhere. They said, you can't go to there. I said, what can I do? He goes, you got half an hour before the plane takes off. If you can go get a vaccination certificate, we'll let you on the plane. I said, am I going to do that? I said, anyway, let me try. I said, here, take a few dollars, look after my bags. He went down with me to the taxi, went downstairs, put me in the taxi. He didn't speak any English, the taxi driver. Told him what I want. I need somewhere to go, hospital, doctor, I need a vaccination, I need stamps. So he's sitting in the front. He's driving. I'm sitting in the back. I rang Nitsa. She's laughing her head off. It's 2 a.m. I'm throwing money over the seat. He's flying over speed humps, flying. And I'm thinking, I've got to do it in 10, 10, 10. 10, I've got to find the place. 10, I've got to get it done. And 10, I've got to get back. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. So then after about 8 minutes driving, I can see in the distance a hospital. I think, fuck. Is this like a hallucination or is it really a hospital? We pull up to the hospital. This little man speaks no English. We're in an old Corona or whatever, Toyota. He's running into offices everywhere, just running through the hospital, opening doors, opening doors, opening doors. I'm following. We're running through a hospital. He opens an office door, something like this room, and there's a guy like you're sitting there, and he's sitting there, a doctor with a white coat and little baby, little animals all over it. So he starts just sitting there like this. He starts talking to him in Spanish. I'm standing here. I take some money out. I'm holding the money. He tells him what I want. He looks at me, opens up a drawer, pulls out a yellow card, passport, give him the passport, predates it back a bit, stamps it, gives it to me, give him some money, get back in the cab, give him, here, more, hurry up, back. Yeah. We get back there. They throw me on the plane, practically throw me on, and then they just shut the door and we take off.
Wow, that wouldn't happen today.
No, it wouldn't happen today. No. Then I've used it as coming back to Sydney when I come back from South America travels and other people are with me. They're like, yellow card, yeah. You? Nothing, you? Nothing. Stay here for a few hours. Let's see if you get sick. You go through.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I've used that a lot. And there was another time in Rio, I went into a favela in Rio.
Yeah.
In Rio, I went into a favela and they said, you can't go there, you're going to get killed. I said,
what's a favela?
A favela is like, if you ever watch Fast and Furious,
yeah.
And also the first person ever to go in there properly was Michael Jackson. But when I went, it was before the Olympics, before the World Cup soccer, so it was very real and very raw. And no one went into the favela. Favela is like the slums. And it's up in the mountains.
Oh, with the houses on top of houses.
Yeah. And nobody goes in there except for the drug dealers and the women with the mules and the taxi drivers. So I got a taxi driver and a girl and I said, come on, we've got to go. They said, no, we're going to die. I said, we're not going to die. And at that time in Rio de Janeiro, they were murdering 150 people a week. 6,000 people a year were getting murdered in Rio. So imagine Sydney, 150 people were getting murdered every week. You wouldn't go out.
No.
So I said, we're going to go. And they said, all right. They said, take all your jewelry off and go say your prayers. So what are they talking about? So they went over there praying. So I get in the car and I had 2 mates with me from here. And their father, I used to train their father and they were younger kids. And when he found out, he goes, why would you take my kids in there? I said, they're alive. They have a story to tell. It's all good. Mm. So we went in and they opened up a boom gate. So when they open up the boom gate, you start going up this road, but you can't just turn around halfway. You've got to get to the top and then come down. As you're going up, there's all the hills all the houses on the hills. And there's kids standing outside with fucking guns everywhere. Everyone's standing there with guns. There's kids on the back of motorbikes with guns strapped to their bags. I thought, oh, fuck, what have I done? Yeah. I had sunglasses, a singlet, I'm hanging out the window. I threw the sunglasses off, I put the window up, and I started praying, oh, God, please, please, please get me out of here.
Wow, that's scary.
It was that bad. I've never seen so many young people and guns everywhere. Yeah. And so we had to get to the top. Once we got to the top, we came back down and worked our way out. We got out, and then I told people that live on the street, I said, we live on the street. We won't go in there. You said, you're crazy. And the last person they caught in there, it was a journalist. They were telling me they caught him in there, the people in there, and they cut his head off and they were playing soccer with it. And so
But why did you want to go in there? Like,
I
obviously
like
the
to do stupid things.
Yeah, but when you were in there, did you then realise what the hell am I doing here?
As soon as I went in there and I thought, what the fuck is this? They were everywhere. There must have been like 10, 15 of them with guns, just standing there outside their houses like this.
What about this? Something about robbed and 2 girls on a balcony.
Oh,
let's
that was
spice
in.
it up.
That was in. Since we're in Brazil, we'll stay in Brazil. In Brazil, I got robbed once. I was getting out. I've been to a nightclub and I went to the most dangerous part of Brazil. And I took my shirt off. I got chains hanging off me. I'm drinking like a big hero. Nothing happened. That was okay. And then I came back to the safe area and I was getting out of the cab. And I was getting into the cab and it was like 6 a.m. And I was getting in. Some guy, he ripped this chain out the back of my neck. And it cut me. I was bleeding because he just ripped it as I was getting into the cab, half in, half out. And so I started running. He started running. And I thought, fuck, I wanted my chain. Got really angry. I was a bit drunk. So I started chasing him. When I started chasing him, I pulled a hamstring. It's like, it popped. I'm like, fuck, I can't walk. So fuck, I was so angry. I kept going. So then the other one went. They both went. So my legs were stuck. They were like 2 fucking posts like this. And I worked my way back. I had to go to the hospital. I couldn't leave because I couldn't bend my legs to get on a plane. Yeah. So, but the other good story, which is more for guys, we had been to the beach. I was with 2 mates. So we'd been to the beach, came back. I was on the balcony and I was on the 6th floor. And the road is probably about, 15 meters. And the other side was units, block of units, and looking for 6th level straight across, only 15 meters away, was a balcony. It was a bedroom window, and the whole window was all glass. It was all open, and there was a lady there, and she was laying on the bed, and she's looking at me. I wave at her. She waves at me. I'm in boxer shorts, just a pair of boxer shorts, having a joint, and she looks at me. I look at her, and I tell her, take it off. So she takes it off, then she takes her top off. She takes her pants off. She's in a little G-string. Another girl comes in her thing. They look at each other. The other one waves at me. I wave at her. Friendly. I tell her off. So after a little while, they're completely naked. They started going for it with each other, having a full show on the bed right in front of me. I'm going, me. They're going, no fight it. And then they said, you pull it. I thought, fuck, they want me to take it out. It's midday, and as I can see them, so I can see old people here sitting on the balcony. You know what I mean? So you're looking at all the units and all the windows,
and they're all having Terry now.
And then, I don't want to say whether I pulled it out or not, but next minute there was a siren. I think, fuck, the police are coming now. And then after my mates came, and I said, look, and they're like, fuck. This went on for about 20, 30 minutes. As soon as my mates came, they jumped up and they said I got dressed and that. It was the most erotic. I'd go back into the room. I'd tell them 1 minute. I'd go back in. I slap myself a few times. Like, is this really happening?
Oh my God! Which country was that in?
That was Brazil. Then in Colombia, I was in Cartagena and we were with a few mates.
Wasn't there buying some coke?
Yeah, I thought, fuck, we'll do the mates. I thought, I got to try
Chris
some.
is the spiciest podcast ever, man.
So I thought, fuck, I'll buy some. And I found a guy and he gave me, I said, look, I don't want 5 grams. I said, because I don't know, I'm going to jail. I said, I don't know what's legal and illegal, whatever.
Yeah.
So I said, I just want fucking, 1, 2 grams I want. I said, so anyway, he gave me some, gave me some, and I gave him $30. And I thought he gave me like a couple of grams. So I thought he gave me extra. So after a while, I came back, he saw me, he said, come here. I said, yeah. He goes, you owe me money. I said, I don't owe you money. What do you mean I owe you money? He goes, you owe me money. For what? He goes, for the coke. I said, I paid you. I said, I don't know what you're talking about. I said, fuck you. You're not getting no money. He goes, do you understand what you're saying? I said, yeah, I do. If you want, I'll go upstairs. I'll bring you your fucking coke and give me back my money. Yeah. He goes, do you see that car over there? I said, yeah. He goes, that's the big drug lord. He goes, do you understand where the fuck you are? You're in Colombia. That's your hotel. Think about what you're saying.
Wow.
And I think, fuck. I said, listen, how much money? Because I thought they were trying to extort me and push me up to my room to take my money. Yeah. I said, well, how much money? He goes, $20. I said, $20? He goes, yeah, I gave you 3 grams. I gave you 5 grams. I said, why didn't you say this all this time? I said, here's your 20 and here's another 20. Yeah. I said, let's be friends. Yeah. So that was all right. Another time I was standing there and you're the drug dealer and you gave me some and I gave you the money. Now, my vision is only from about here around this way. Yeah. So I can't see. I didn't even look straight behind me, right behind me. So you give me I give you the money, you give me the coke, I put it in my pocket. As soon as I turn around, straight behind me, there's a copper standing there like this. Saw it all. He's only like 3 meters away. I thought, oh fuck, my heart dropped. I said to him, he said something to me in Spanish. I said, no, Australia, no Colombia, me Australia passport. And he's talking to me. I said, no. I kept walking. He's talking. I'm walking. I'm thinking, oh God, please don't let him come and get me, please. Please don't let him. I kept walking. And he just didn't do anything.
Wow. Terry, you put yourself in some hair-raising experiences.
Yeah, but even when I used to come back through Australia customs, Nitsa would come and pick me up an hour later because they had me on some fucking hit list. I've never done anything wrong in my life. I've never been arrested for anything.
Why do you think you're on a hit list?
I was to do with steroids of who I was. So they would go
when
through
they type up your name, they
as soon as it came up, it was like, fuck, he's here. I could hear him saying, he's here. It's like, what the fuck? And they'd all like, you see him. And it's like, this is stupid. And so they'd come up and they'd be like, go through everything. It's like, what do you think, I'm taking steroids? Yeah, you're taking steroids. I said, who the fuck are you to sit here and accuse me of taking steroids? Where's your boss? Please call your boss down here. The guy started crying. I've got a family, I've got children. Now you want to cry when you're sitting there laughing at me and accusing me of taking steroids and bringing steroids in and doing shit like that. And now you're crying. So I said, look, don't worry about it. But, there'd be times I'd throw the bag on there, because this happened all the time. And I'd throw the bag and I said, wow. Open it, search it, and put it back the way you found it. And they'd be like, mate, you scared me. Go.
Well, what's this shy guy that doesn't like to talk
Yeah,
much?
because I've done nothing wrong. I don't need to be treated. I've been on a plane for so many hours and I get off and I've got to sit there and it's got to come an hour later because I was followed. Yeah, because then after a guy at the gym, he came up to me one day, he goes, do you know you're followed? I said, what do you mean I was followed? He goes, you were picked up by a large European gentleman or man, picked up by a man. You went away in a 200 Datsun, whatever. I said, how do you know all that? He goes, well, so they followed you. I said, follow me for what? I haven't done anything. And then,
Terry, are you telling me the truth, man? Are you some kind of?
Even in New Zealand.
Are you the big one? Are you the top dog?
That's what they said.
You're the top dog, and I never knew it all this time. Did Danny work for you, mate? Are you running the cross?
They thought I was somewhere high with all this shit. I've never done anything. Even in New Zealand.
Even Samians ran the cross for a little while. Those Greek guys, the Greek brothers.
Oh yeah.
That was Samian.
I went to New Zealand, and when I went through New Zealand, there was a little dog, and he came and he's following me around. I thought, what the fuck's he want? And he's following me around. They came over and they said, mate, do you do powders? I said, no, I don't know what you're talking about. So they took the dog away, and they let him go. And then the dog came back to me again. I thought, fuck, this dog won't leave. They said, you better come with us. So they went through everything, and they found one marijuana seed in the corner of my bum bag, stuck there.
Wow.
And then they got an evidence bag like this and put it in there. And they go, this is our evidence. I said, you got to be kidding. I said, that's probably stuck there from Amsterdam. I said, I can have pot here better than ours if I want. Why would I bring one seed into your country? They said, this is evidence you're going back. You're being deported. I said, what are you talking about? I said, what can I do to stay? They said, you have to come in the room, sign some papers, and we're going to strip search you. I said, well, let's go. They had 3 of them in there. They went through everything. I'm standing here. They're back there sitting there. I'm taking all my clothes off. They're like, fuck, you got an amazing body. I'm like, oh, fuck. Pick up your ball sack, bend over, spread your ass cheeks. So then they let me stay. But it was so embarrassing. I can't forget it to this day.
How does Anita keep up with you there?
Oh, she knows what I'm like.
She's a sweetheart, man.
She's like I was
this.
in Costa Rica and I said to the guy there, my friend, do you think I can run out? There was bullfights. But the bullfights is one bull and about 20 people with...
Is this the running of the bulls?
No, it's in an arena, but the people go in there that whatever they are, they've got different colours, like red, bright colours, so the bull can chase them. So the bull actually throws them. They've got ambulances there, and they take a lot of the people. They get thrown over the walls and get tossed around. So it's not about the bull getting hurt; it's about the people getting hurt and everyone laughing. So they're like to the bull. So he comes at him, and I said, "Can I go out there?" So he went and asked the guy. He goes, "If he's stupid enough, let him go." So I ran out there. I said to my mate, film me. I said, I went out there. It was being broadcast on TV. And the guy's wife rang and said, fuck, is your friend in the middle of the thing? She goes, yeah. She goes, he's all over the TV. Oh. So I'm standing there. And the bull, I could hear him at the gate, bah, bah. As soon as they opened the gate, I see this fucking thing running, but just running at everyone. I thought, oh, wow, I've got to get out of here. So I ran through. I hurt my shoulder trying to get through the cage. So,
No wonder you're beating yourself up there. Oh, you put yourself in the most hair-raising experiences. I cannot believe it. So then tell me, what's the secret of having a long-lasting marriage?
With Nitsa,
What is it about Nitsa being so special? Because she is quite unique. And to put up with... I'm not saying to put up with you, but the thing is, you're a bit of a hellraiser for a guy that...
yeah, but she's not the jealous type. She, lets me, live my life. I don't impose anything on her. If she wants to go away, she can go away. I believe that none of us should be able to control anyone else in a marriage or in a relationship, because at the end of the day, we need to live our lives separately and together. And so even when I met her in my first gym, I saw her in there and I didn't know her, but I saw her and she was attractive and I was attracted to her. She was only 17. Yeah. And I say I was with you and I'd say, Steve, see that girl over there? I'm going to marry that girl. But I've never spoken to her yet. And then I went over, started talking to her, and then we became boyfriend and girlfriend. And it was probably the biggest mistake of her life at that point.
For sure.
And then she got stuck with me. And, but I think, I think you need the right person. You need to grow together, but you need to grow separately too.
I think, look, I don't know. Like I said, I think Nitsa is a unique character, and boy, are you a unique character. But I think I think the most important thing is you need to be into each other. If you're into each other, meaning you can have love, but you got to like the person. You got to like being with them. You know what I'm trying to say?
I'll go away and do my trip, which she doesn't like to go away as much and as far, but she understands that I need that time to myself. But it gives her that time too. When I went recently, she had that month to herself here where she went out with her girlfriends. She didn't have to worry about me. She didn't have to cook for me. She didn't have to look after me, clean up after me. Yeah. So it's also downtime for her too. And then we do our trips together and we do our stuff together. So I think, we've been together for a long time.
Well, I remember there was a scary moment with her and you were really praying hard and you were probably confessing all your sins in life. Yeah, she's been
through hell and,
And then you were feeling like...
Well, she makes it, she is an important part of my life and you don't realise it until you think you might lose that person.
I noticed that time and then, you were really...
And then after that...
It was affecting you a lot.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, no, it did affect me at that time a lot, a real lot. So, everything moment together is precious now.
And I noticed, I'm glad she's well. I'm glad that, you put up with each other, but she puts up with you. I don't know how she puts up with you, man.
That's what everyone says. But I tell them, when they say, I don't know how she can put up with you, I don't know this. And I tell them, look, there's got to be something good about me. Otherwise, she's not stuck with me. I don't force her to be with me.
But the thing is, I think, I just said to you.
But I'm saying there's got to be something good about me.
No, there is good about you. But the thing is, I think the first and most important thing, which people is, I think the two L's, she loves you, but she likes you. And the thing is...
But also, too, she's not jealous.
No, but it's not about jealous.
Yeah, but jealousy, I couldn't be a jealous woman because of my sport.
Yeah, but the thing is... she's got the skill. Well, I probably don't have the skill. Maybe you don't have the skill. We don't know who has the skill. But you got to you can love the person, but you got to like hanging with them. Sometimes people just love their husbands or love their kids, but they don't like them. Like, I like my kids. I like hanging around. Sometimes you got to love your kids, but I like them as well. I like to eat with them. I like to talk to them. I like to do stuff with them. But I think that the fact is you two are kind of like friends as well.
Yeah, but I can't take her into a favela. I can't take her into dangerous places.
Oh, you probably would if you fucking were there.
No, we can't risk both lives.
Can't risk both lives. But you've also, like I said before, we go over the body and stuff, finishing up. You've also gone and done a lot of stem stuff, and you've had a few injuries.
I did the stem cell. If we're going to talk about it,
I don't want to talk about that. What I'm saying is what you've done a lot of work. Like I've heard about these stories.
The stem cells, I think they have a place.
Yeah, what do they have in this place of this world?
They have a place, but you have to be at a different level. If you're in your 30s or 40s with small injuries or, grade 1 arthritis in your joints or something, they'll probably get some benefit. But it's not going to be forever the benefit, and you need to top it up all the time.
Right, okay, so it's not this miracle thing.
Yeah, no, it's not a miracle thing. So, if people are expecting miracles, it's not going to happen. And at the end of the day, I don't really know what they're injecting me. It could be water for all I know. Because the last time now when I went and they fractured my hip and I had to do a hip replacement, I didn't get anything out of it in the rest of my body parts at all. And that was the second time. So I spent $100,000.
What was the first time like though?
the first time I got a little bit, and then Nitsa got sick. So I got a little bit out of it, but not enough to warrant me saying it's worth $50,000. I would never recommend it for that type of money. So $100,000, and I'd rather have it in my pocket now, in hindsight, looking back. But, that's why, I would never recommend buy Accelerator to anyone. I think they're just all about money and dollars, because they didn't even consider, they never once got in touch with me with everything I went through. And they knew that I fractured my hip there. They were there. But also to expose, when they're sitting there, they could see a tattoo on top of my penis that was between me and my wife, and they could see part of it, and they pulled the whole sheet over my gown to read it, and there's 3 of them. There's a nurse and 2 doctors sitting there on top of me reading my tattoo on top of my penis, and I'm thinking, oh, fuck, how embarrassing. How unprofessional is that?
Yeah,
this is it by Accelerator. So I would just say, look at other places for people that are interested, and do your homework and your research. There's a lot of better places like CPI, which is in Mexico. You have Panama. But I just don't think that, they're up to the... Look, if you're young and you've got money and you want to prolong good health, then, go for it.
Right.
But I think if you're at an age where, the doctor says, your hip, your shoulder, your knee, whatever is fucked, it's gone, then it's gone. Sometimes you have to accept what it is. An injection isn't going to sit there and reverse everything that you have ruined in, the last 50 years.
Yeah, no, I've been intrigued by it, because it sounds like
For
a wonder.
sure, I thought it was
wonder
too.
drug.
But that's why I tell people that I was
But you
embarrassed.
went there. I think we need to hear about it from you.
Twice.
That's why. I mean, we need to hear it from somebody. But you went, and obviously...
Look, I would do it again in the future, not now. I was spending so much money, but I wouldn't do it there. And if I do it, the only thing I want from it is the internal ones. But the internal ones, I felt really good internally, because it made a difference to my breathing. So I felt
What's
it worked
an
on my
internal one mean?
IV. So there's an IV. They put like 100 million cells in me. They then injected my joints. The joints, I didn't feel much, and that's when they fractured my hip with the injection. So then they wouldn't even, take responsibility at all. But I think the IV ones will give you some internal health, but a lot of them get stuck into the lungs, because that's where I really felt it, in the lungs. So a lot of it gets stuck in the lungs, but they're supposed to run around your bloodstream and attach to scar tissue, inflammation, and things like that. So I think everyone's different. I think, if you got the money and you want to try it, try it.
It's a bit like these TRT centres. Everyone's trying to get a buck off everyone.
Well, TRT, testosterone replacement therapy, is just another way of saying, I'm on steroids. So they think because they're on TRT, they're not on steroids. You're on steroids.
It's funny, there's a federation going, I think it's called World Beach Bodies Federation. It's a new one that's starting. It's about to be launched this year. And they're going to do 2 categories. 1, tested, and 1 not tested. And the reason they're doing 1 not tested is because some of the older people on there are on TRT.
Yeah.
And they think, well, it's not fair. Like, it's just funny. It's like we've all become, everyone's got to take steroids. I don't know. It's a bit confusing, man. I'm a little bit, like I said, it looks like there's a lot of bucks to be made in this world, and they're taking advantage of everybody's money. For sure. Well, we're going to go over the body, okay? We did that with Frank Zane. I think you know what's going to happen here. Have we missed anything? I don't think we've missed anything. But we're going to go over the body. I'm going to say body part, 1 exercise, sets and reps. Very simple. And I know already what you're going to say with the first one. I can predict the future. Shrugs. Upright raise.
For shrugs.
Yeah, go. What do you do for shrugs?
Upright raise.
How many sets and reps?
3 lots of 10 to 12. But also
I don't believe any more 3 sets of 10 to 12, because I believe the third one is the first one. After what we spoke.
When I'm saying 3, I mean 3, that the first one and the other 2 following are the same as the first.
Yes.
So I'm not talking... See, the thing is, people don't warm up enough. What you got to understand, you got to warm up to the point where it's almost a workout. So you put so much blood into the muscle. Then when you start, actually you're going to fatigue from the first set and get maximum benefits out of it. But people just sit there and just warm up a couple of minutes and then get into it. But you're still warming up. Your body hasn't warmed up yet. So you need to spend more time warming up. But also 2 shrugs, the wider you go, the more of the outer delt you'll hit and the trap. The closer you go, more the trap you'll hit. So, it depends where your hand placing is too.
I love that.
That's why I think a lot of people selling programs online, for me, I could never do it, because I'm just taking people's money, and I don't feel comfortable with that. Because I think if you're going to invest in anything, go and get a good trainer, because it's about showing you how to push your body to that limit, showing you how to fatigue, how to space your hands, your feet, positioning. So there's a lot of breathing techniques, a lot of stuff that are programmed that's just spat out from, GP, whatever it's called.
ChatGPT.
That thing is just, for everyone. So, they'll spit it out and give it to 100 people. So I think the best is, get a proper trainer and spend time with that person and learn.
Yeah. Oh, look, I can't believe how much I've missed out. Now I'm adding more to my training now after hearing this. It's amazing. It took a podcast to get you on here, Terry, to get this. Front delts.
Front delts, front dumbbell raises.
Sets and reps.
3x12.
Side delts.
Side lateral raises. 3x12.
Yeah, all right, so it's all 3x12 in a way. You'll tell me for changes. Rear delts.
Again, bent over dumbbell laterals. Again, same.
Yeah. Lats, so a lat exercise.
Lat, depending, just, you're always going to have lat pull downs to the front. But I think the bread and butter of a big, thick back is bent over rows.
Wow, how many sets and reps there?
Or sets and reps, again, between 3 sets. But I'm talking about 3
On
working good
sets,
sets. And you've done a lot of warm-up beforehand.
Yeah, I'm changing.
So those 3 sets is, again, to 10.
Okay. I'm changing. I can't wait to get back in the gym. This is rest day today. Tomorrow I'm back in. Chest.
Chest, my favourite is probably... would have to be a press, an incline, but my best incline press, which is probably my most proudest thing I've done, was, do you remember the bench press of the free weight? It was in the mirror towards the back on the right-hand side.
Yep.
And so it was a 45-degree angle with a 6-foot bar. And I remember I put 4 50s on each side and the collars and everything. I had 460 pounds on there. And I was on my own. There was no one in there. And so no one to spot me. So it's hard because it's coming back from here. So you've got to pick it up and bring it forward.
Yeah.
And I did 6 reps. I did 6 reps on my own and then put it back. No one behind me. I did hurt myself a little bit. But that was probably the most impressive exercise or weight that I've done.
So you like that movement?
Well, as if you're going to ask me for one.
Barbell?
Barbell.
Okay.
And flies. I like flies a lot with dumbbells.
Okay. Abs?
Abs, crunches and rear crunches. Reverse crunch.
Till failure?
No, to 3x30, but you got to minimise the rest. They have to be done very quickly, one after the other. Like one big giant set if you're using 3 or 4 exercises.
Bicep?
Bicep, barbell curls. Barbell curls, I've done up to 250 pounds.
Wow.
For 4 or 5 reps.
Tricep? It was like that back then. Tricep?
Push downs and barbell extensions.
Push downs.
Again, push downs, tricep push downs with the cable.
Yeah.
Which works the outer head, but then also barbell extensions is very good for the inner and giving it meat and thickness on it.
Skull crushers?
Yeah.
Forearms?
Forearms, just a barbell reverse curl or even on the end of a bench.
Yeah. Quads?
Quads, squats.
Hammies?
Lying hamstrings.
Yeah.
But hamstrings, I always like to do a bit more repetitions. I think it's stimulated better growth. And sometimes I like to do them first because it cushions my legs same as triceps. If I'm supersetting tricep, bicep, I like triceps first because it cushions the whole area. So I like to do a hamstring. If I'm doing them together as a superset, do the hamstring, quad.
Lovely. Glutes?
Glutes, we never really did anything much. There's so many machines these days. The most I would have done would have been some cables, some reverse cable.
Yeah, kickback type things. Yeah, kickbacks, yep. Calves?
Calves, calf raises. When I was young, my calves are very natural. My calves were close to 21 inches.
Wow.
And my calves, even when I was young at Broadway Gym at 17, I'll never forget their machine would only hold up to 6 50-pounders. So there was a bar coming up and you put the 50s on top and then it levels out at 6, which was plenty. So it was 300 pounds there. Then I had one guy sit on top of the machine. I had one guy sit on the weights. I had one guy hang off this side of the machine, another guy hang off this side, and another guy hang off my back. So I had 1, 2, 3, 4, I think 5 people on the machine plus
350 kilos.
Well, my machine at the back down there was 500 pounds. I could do 100 reps on that.
So is that what you did? Lot of reps?
Yeah, you need reps. You need
reps.
Heavy weight, but you need reps. And the trick is a lot of people, it starts to burn at 20 and they're like, done. No, when you get to that point where it's hurting, you can't do anymore, then go back to 0 and start. And everyone you push out after that point is going to be productive. All the ones who got to that point were nothing.
Mate, I'm ready to go now, compete. Now I'm ready to train. It took a long time, Chris, but now I'm ready to train. Tibialis, that's the front of the calf. I just throw it in at the end.
Oh,
Not many
just
people hit.
I don't really do anything, but you could do where you get the cable at the bottom of the pulley, and you get the long bar. Sit back enough, put it across your feet, and let the bar then pull the bar back.
Oh, nice one. Before I ask you to promote yourself, because that's what we do at the end, do you believe in fasted cardio?
Yeah, like if I'd like to do cardio in the morning fasted, and then go
For how
home.
long?
30, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
So as long as it's done daily and that, but then after that I'd go home, have a good breakfast, and from the good breakfast, then I go and do my weights.
How's it going having the private gym at home there with everybody and the dogs do part of the
It's good
staff?
because it's good. I'm at home. I just come down, and I think it's more because I'm sort of semi-retired now, and it's just more to keep sort of some interaction with human beings.
You have a lot of fun with them. You've got, what's her name, LA Donuts there, and
I've got to go back and train her after this.
Make sure I asked her actually once to come on the podcast because I knew she was training with you. I thought,
You want her? She'd be good.
Yeah, get her on.
Yeah.
Will you tell her? All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell her to come on to these podcasts, Muscle Talks. Tell her to follow me, and we'll message her there.
Sure.
Please. Well, Terry, where can we find you?
Find me.
Yeah, or you don't want anyone to find you?
No. You can just find me on social media.
Terry Mitsos, isn't it?
Well, I've never been promoting myself.
No.
I don't try to stay relevant. I don't need I don't need likes and followers. I like to enjoy my life and, a bit private, a bit out there. If I want to get out there, I can expose myself if I want. And so, I'm not really out there promoting myself that much.
Well, mate, this has been a great podcast. I want to say thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Hey guys, another podcast done with another wonderful guest. They're all greats, no matter who they are. So, to continue what we're doing and to keep supporting you and bringing the very best, if you could subscribe, hit the notification bell, press like, it only helps us to grow this channel even further. We really appreciate the support, and to go and find more all around the world. Bring them here to Muscle Talks podcast and share real, raw and honest conversation around a sport we love, bodybuilding. Please subscribe. Thank you for watching this podcast. Thank you for watching all podcasts. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. So subscribe, hit the notification bell, like, and continue watching us here on YouTube or listening to us here on Spotify.